Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coats present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The number of uses for wax has been increasing every year, but it took the war to give greater emphasis to one of them. Do you know that soldiers' uniforms are actually waxed? That's right, strange as it may seem. Uniforms impregnated with a wax emulsion are made water repellent, stain, and dust resistant. They look smarter longer and are easier to launder. The makers of Johnson's Wax have developed a special product for this use called Drax, D-R-A-X. It's used by many textile mills and by many Army laundries, too, because the water repellency of a garment can be maintained by using Drax at the laundry or the dry cleaner. Wouldn't you like to have outdoor clothing, play suits, and other garments, as well as things like drapes and curtains, Drax treated? Well, after the war, you'll be able to. In the meantime, the makers of Johnson's Wax will welcome inquiries from finishing mills and others interested in Drax. Write to S.C. Johnson & Son, Incorporated at Racine, Wisconsin, or Brantford, Canada. Well, they say that early to bed and early to rise makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise. Which probably explains why the residents of 79 Wistful Vista are neither too healthy, too rich, nor too smart. Because here it is almost 9 a.m., and just waking up, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, wake up. It's 9 o'clock. It's broad daylight.
Why does everybody say broad daylight? It's as high as it is wide.
How you'd know? You never lift your eyes above the coffee pot till 10:30. I wish you were a millionaire, Davy.
That's a dirty wish just before March 15th. Why do you wish I was a millionaire?
Well, so's I could pick up my pearl-handled telephone off my ivory-inlaid night table and call down to the third footman to tell the butler to have my personal maid bring me my breakfast in bed.
Oh. Well, I got bad news for you then.
What?
The third footman is in the Marines. The butler is an investigator for the OPA, and your personal maid is a spot welder out of Douglas. We're all alone in our 52-room bungalow. Hey, where's my slippers?
Probably right where you usually leave them when you go to bed.
Where's that?
One under the dresser and one in the bathroom. Don't tell me you're getting up.
Yes, I'm getting up. And what's more, baby, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring you your breakfast in bed.
What?
You heard me. I'm going to bring you your breakfast in bed.
Well, this is the most realistic dream I ever had. I'm going to hate to wake up.
You think I'm kidding?
Yes. Now hurry and take your shower and call me just
I'll take my shower later. Where's my bathrobe? Oh, here it is. Now, what do you want for breakfast?
Oh, now, McGee, I was just joking. My goodness, you don't have to.
I know I don't have to. But you deserve it. You've been a good kid. Now, what do you want for breakfast?
Well, I might as well make the best of this, I guess. I want some orange juice.
Okay, orange juice.
2 eggs with their bright little eyes gazing heavenward.
2 eggs straight up.
A waffle.
Fry one crossword puzzle. What else?
Cup of coffee.
Very well, madame. I shall be very happy. Hey, what you doing?
I'm getting up. You never made a waffle in your life.
I never laid an egg either, but I know how to cook.
Well, I think you're wrong on both counts, dearie. So I'll just get up.
Stay right where you darn are. This is my treat.
But McGee.
And don't butt McGee me. I know what I'm doing. Just as soon as I brush my teeth, I'll have...
Molly McGee, you're a lazy, good-for-nothing woman to let him do this. Yes, I know, but it's good for his character. Teaches him to be unselfish. But he'll have your whole kitchen in a mess. Well, if he does, he'll clean it up. No, you can't let him do that. Oh, I can't Now, you just wait and see.
Well, here we go. Orange juice, eggs, coffee, and waffles. Squeeze one, fry two, make with a mocha, and cook a blotter with a reef cleat. Coming right up, Tootsie. I'll see you later. Oh, looky. Here comes Cookie, marching down the street. Oh, looky, left us. Oh, now, let me see. Orange juice. Where do you suppose Molly keeps the oranges? Hey, Molly. Where's the oranges?
In the bowl on the windowsill.
I see them.
What?
I says I see them.
Then why did you ask me where they were?
Huh?
What?
Never mind. You go to sleep. Here they are. Oh, looky. Here comes Cookie. Tough oranges. Guess I'll have to cut them in two. I better make my waffle batter first. Now, where's the cookbook? Cookbook. Hey, Molly!
Yes?
Where's the cookbook?
Left-hand drawer of the cabinet.
Much obliged. Now, you go to sleep. Have a nice nap. Oh, looky. Here comes her. Now, what'd she say? Oh, here we are. How to Set a Fine Table by Henrietta Lewis. Okay, Henrietta, give out with the dope on the waffles. Waffles. Oh, here we are. Golden brown waffles with fresh maple syrup or strawberry jam are not only pleasing to the palate, but tempting to the eye. They are. Uh-oh. Hey, Molly!
Now what, McGee?
On your waffles, you want syrup or strawberry jam?
Syrup, strawberry jam, and fattening.
Okay, now you go to sleep. Oh, looky. Here it comes. Now, let me see. Oh, yeah. Recipe for waffles. 2 cups of sifted cake or pastry flour. 2 cups. How do you sift a cake? Hey, Molly!
Oh, yes, McGee.
We got any cake?
No, what do you want it for?
Just wanted to sift it. But never mind, I'll use pastry flour. You go get some rest. I'll handle it. Oh, looky. Here comes Cookie. 4 teaspoons of tartrate or phosphate. That'd be a doggone chemist to mix a waffle with. Nobody means baking soda. Soda's better anyway. Saves taking it afterwards. Hello. Who? Geraldine? Who's calling? Pete. Oh, well, look, Pete. Geraldine don't want any more to do with you, see? She wants you to get out of her life. Yeah. She says if you called her again to tell you to go fry a pig. Goodbye. Hey, Molly.
Now what, McGee?
Don't worry about the telephone, just the wrong number. Just relax and get some shut-eye.
All right, dear.
Oh, looky. Here comes a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's easy. I'll put in a dash of pepper, too. 6 tablespoons of melted shortening. What's shortening? Hey! Oh, now use your head, McGee. Shorten is to make smaller. Make smaller is to shrink. To shrink, water. Now, 1 1/4 cup of milk, that's a cinch, and 2 eggs. Okie dokie, 2 eggs and some milk. Hey, wait a minute. Separate the eggs and beat the yolks until light. Beat them until light. That's silly, it's light now. Oh, eggs. Where's the eggs? In the refrigerator. 2 eggs and a bottle of milk. Buttermilk. There, yes, Richard. Oh, looky. Here it comes.
McGee, what happened? Are you hurt?
No, I guess not. I got thrown, that's all.
Thrown? How?
Shut the refrigerator door on the tassel of my bathrobe. Started to walk away and boom, flat on the hen fruit. You go on back to bed. You have a nice sleep while I finish getting your breakfast, huh?
McGee, I wish you'd...
Hey, look, Molly, why don't you go back to bed? How can I give you your breakfast in bed when you're down there on the sofa?
Well, I got tired of hollering down the stairs. I'll go back to bed when you have breakfast ready.
Okay. Boy, these are going to be the best waffles you ever flung a fang into, Molly. How is it? Uh-oh, that's the baguette, the mail woman. Come in.
Well, Mr. McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Good morning.
Well, what you got for us this morning, sis? And excuse the bathrobe.
I just have a postcard for you, Mr. McGee. Do you mind if I give it to you tomorrow? It's clear down in the bottom of the bag.
Oh, that's okay, sis, but I'd kind of like to know who it's from.
It's from somebody named Aunt Sarah, and is just wishing you a happy George Washington's birthday.
Good old Aunt Sarah, bless her heart.
Yeah, good old Aunt Sarah, darn her hide. Forgets we're alive on Christmas and then wishes us a happy George Washington's birthday. And she's worth $90,000. That old skinflint has pinched pennies so long her fingerprints look like Indian heads.
Now, McGee, don't talk like that. Aunt Sarah worships the ground you walk on.
Sure she does. That's real estate. The minute I get in the house, she hates me.
Well, I'll be sure and give it to you tomorrow or the next day, Mr. McGee.
Oh, there's no hurry, sis. Just stick it in the mail for me.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm giving you your eggs first, Molly. They're cooking now. These waffles will take a little longer.
Say, let me see that waffle batter.
Okay. Smoothing out nice, ain't it?
Still looks pretty lumpy to me.
That's the tuna fish.
Tuna fish.
Sure. The recipe says waffles are delicious with ice cream, fruits, creamed meat, salmon, or tuna fish. All we had was tuna fish.
But McGee, that meant to put over the waffles when they were served.
All over them or inside of them. What's the difference? Now, you quit worrying and get a nice rest. I'll handle it.
Fish on waffles?
Come in.
Hello there, Johnny. Hello, Doc.
Real cool.
Hey, you sick, daughter?
Oh, no, Mr. Oldtimer. I just felt lazy this morning, and McGee is fixing breakfast for me, he says.
You'll have to excuse the bathrobe, old-timer. Didn't take time to get dressed.
That's okay, Johnny. I always liked that bathrobe. Mighty pretty shade of heliotrope. I could get one of those from a honeymoon.
Say, when are you and Bessie going to name the day?
Ain't decided, daughter. Can't do it till Bessie's brother gets out of jail anyway. He's going to be the next best man.
You mean the best man?
No, Johnny, that's what he said, too, and we fought it out one night. I'm the best man.
But what is he in jail for?
Well, it happened when we was rehearsing the wedding, daughter. It was an accident, pure and simple. There was Bessie, looking so pure, and there was her brother, looking so simple.
What happened, doggone it?
Well, it was going to be a military wedding, see? The minute the captain says, I pronounce you man and wife.
What captain?
Old tugboat captain. A friend of mine, daughter. He's going to perform the ceremony. Captains can do it, too, you know.
Ah, not unless they're at sea, they can't.
This one is, believe me, kid. Anyway, Cornwell, that's Bessie's brother, Cornwell was going to fire a volley into the air, see? But the bullet cut trolley wire, stopped traffic on 14th Street, wire come down, burned up, caught a couple of automobiles. These upper plates are killing me. And Cornwell got pinched for carrying a gun without a license. Shooting it off inside the city limits, disturbing the peace, arson, inciting a riot, blocking traffic, willful destruction of property, and impersonating an officer.
Impersonating what officer?
General Grant. Cornwell's got a little beard, see? It's got an image of Grant.
You're still going to go on with your plans, then?
Bet we are, Johnny. Bessie's father gave us a shower party last night. Chartered the whole Empire room at the bus depot. It was one of the... Hey, I smell something burning.
Oh, my God. My egg.
Say, do you have to hurry away, Mr. Oldtimer?
Yes, I have, daughter. Gotta go down to the haberdashery and learn to tie one of them silly apricot ties. Wear one at my wedding.
Not apricot, you mean ascot.
That's it. One of them silly ascot ties. Well done.
Sorry sorry about them eggs, Molly, but don't worry. The next ones will be okay.
Oh, I think I can get along without the eggs, McGee. I can get along without the waffles, too, unless you mix up another batch. That tuna fish mixture doesn't appeal to me somehow. Maybe I'm just fussy, though.
Well, this is your day, baby. You can be as fussy if you want to. I'll mix up another batch right away. Oh, boy, this is smoothing out awful good. You sure you don't want to try them?
I'm positive. Have you got any...
Hello, folks. Well, what's this? Are you ill, Molly?
No, Miss Wilcox. I'm just lying down waiting for Oscar the Waldorf here. He's giving me my breakfast in bed.
Good for him.
Well, she deserves it, Junior. She's been a good kid. You ever give your wife breakfast in bed?
No, but I've only been married 3 years. She's a sweet girl, and I don't want to spoil her. What are you beating to death in that frock, pal?
He's making some waffles, Miss Wilcox.
Waffles? Where did he learn to cook?
Oh, he just picked it up. And I can hardly wait till he sets it down again.
I learned how to cook in the Army, Wilcox. I was company cook for 6 weeks.
Officer's mess?
Some of them did, but most of them were pretty neat. Don't you cook?
No, I don't. And you'd think with what I know about housekeeping in general, I'd be a natural for it.
Not necessarily, Mr. Wilcox. I know lots of women who can cook lovely pastry, but can't make a bed or iron a shirt to save their lives.
It's a specialty, I suppose, like being an expert on preserving floors and furniture and woodwork.
Gee, I wish you'd tell us something about your work. Just how do you go about preserving floors, furniture, and woodwork?
Oh, you're kidding me. You know.
We'd love to hear it again, though, wouldn't we, dearie?
We really would, Junior. You know how kids never get tired of hearing about the three bears. Well, I'm like that about preserving floors, furniture, and woodwork. Just what product would you recommend for that?
Oh, this is just a rib.
Mr. Wilcox, how can you say that? Tell us, please. Is it Johnson's wax?
Oh, cut it out. You know it's Johnson's wax.
Well, we're mighty pleased that you recommend it, Junior. They tell me Johnson's wax not only beautifies and protects all wood and enamel surfaces, but is mighty handy to keep dampness and dirt out of windowsills, lampshades, luggage, and all stuff like that there. Is that there true?
Say, what is this? Of course it's true.
Oh, McGee, it's true. Every word of it. He said it was true.
Ain't that marvelous? You know, Junior, I don't like to pry into commercial secrets or anything, but I've heard a rumor. You know how these things fly around. I've heard that using Johnson's wax was almost as much of a health measure as getting your vitamins, because it keeps the house so sanitary and makes housework so simple and easy. Can you confirm that rumor?
Look, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I want... Hey, I smell something burning.
Oh, my gosh, it's my eggs again.
Say, won't you stay and have a touch of ptomaine with us, Mr. Wilcox?
No, thanks, Molly. Say, you wouldn't care to sneak upstairs, get dressed fast, and let me take you out for breakfast.
Well, it's the best offer I've had today, but I can't do it. McGee's got his heart set on this project, and I don't want to let him down.
Okay, but while you're eating your scorched eggs, leather waffles, and battery acid coffee, just picture me sitting in a nice, cozy restaurant, tucking away a beautiful, fluffy omelet with a...
Go away, you nasty man.
Okay, but you had your chance.
Oh, McGee, what are you doing?
I put some more eggs on, and I'm mixing up a fresh batch of waffles. Wilcox gone?
Yes, and he invited me out to breakfast, too.
Snake in the grass. You don't think I can cook? Boy, this batch of waffles is going to be slightly terrific. But I gotta let the batter set a while. Gotta go up and get dressed. I'm going out for about a quarter of an hour.
What for?
The cookbook recommends it.
What do you mean?
Well, the instruction says when the waffle batter is mixed, beat it for about 15 minutes. I thought I'd run down to the...
Oh, dear, come in. Oh, hello, Abigail, darling. This is a surprise.
Hi, Uppy. Pardon my bathrobe.
I can't quite pardon it, Mr. McGee, but I shall give it a brief parole.
Well, personally, I always like this bathrobe, and I don't want to hear any snide comments about it.
Oh, now, McGee,
And
don't...
why should I comment about your bathrobe, Mr. McGee? This is a free country, and if you choose to wear a horrible purple nightmare like that fits like an old slipcover with sleeves, it's really none of my affair. What if it does look like it was designed by Ringling Brothers? What if it does make you look like something abandoned in the baggage room of a haunted railroad station? And what if the collar does fit like it was made for a man who had two heads? What if it does resemble a low-slung papoose in the back? And if it makes you look like a drunken zombie coming home from a Charleston contest, it is no business of mine. I don't even have to look at it if I don't want to, and I don't want to. So why should I comment on it?
Boy, for a minute there, Uppy, I thought you were going to start cracking wise.
I didn't come over here to discuss your attire, Miss McGee. Oh, my dear, tell me, are you ill?
No, just lazy, Abigail. McGee's going to give me my breakfast in bed.
Oh, how splendid. Well, I just came over to tell you, my dear, that I... Oh, good heavens, what's burning?
Oh, my gosh, my eggs again.
I'll see you later.
The King's Men and Rosie the Riveter.
Factory wheels are grinding everywhere. Rattle, rattle, rattle through the land. The lady who was yesterday so fair now has the riveter in her hand. All day long, whether rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie, the riveter, keeps her eye open for 7 pounds, sitting up there on the fuselage. That little frail can do more than a male can do. Rosie, the riveter. Rosie has a boyfriend, Charlie. Charlie, he's a Marine. Rosie is protecting Charlie, working overtime on the riveting machine. When they gave her a production key, she was as proud as a girl could be. There's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie, the riveter. Rosie really keeps them on the go. She can build a bomber in a day. Every time you hear the whistle blow, she sends another one on its way. Everyone stops to admire the scene. Rosie at work on the B-19. She's never jittery, nervous, or twittery. Rosie, the riveter. What if she's smeared full of oil and grease, doing her bit for the old and lease? She keeps the gang around. They love to hang around. Rosie, the riveter. Rosie buys a lot of war bonds. That girl really has sense. Wish she could buy some more bonds, putting all her cash into national defense. Senator Jones, who was in the know, shouted these words on the radio. Berlin will hear about Moscow will cheer about Rosie the Riveter.
Looky. Well, it won't be long now, Molly. Waffle iron's getting hot. You getting pretty hungry?
No, don't hurry on my account.
Okay.
I don't know which is worse anyway, being starved or being poisoned. Say, who are you talking to out in the kitchen?
Huh? Oh, just the milkman.
Oh.
Don't worry about being poisoned either. This is going to be the best breakfast you ever used to lip over.
I hope so.
I'm going to heat the oven so I can keep the extra waffles warm for you. You got a match?
No, dearie. I rarely carry matches in my dressing gown. Would a blowtorch do? I usually have one of those with me in case I want to warm up my cold cream. Maybe I'm just irritable on account of malnutrition.
Well, cheer up, Snooky. Breakfast will be ready just as soon as I can get it.
Oh, fine. One more delay and I'll slip into a turban and join Mahatma Gandhi.
Well, whoever it is, I'll get rid of him quick. Come in.
Hello, Mr. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hello, Mr. Whipple.
Hi, Wimp, old man. You got a match?
No, but I have a cigarette lighter.
Oh, fine. Let me take it.
It won't light.
Out of fluid, Mr. Wimple?
No, Sweetie Face took the flint out of it, Mr. McGee. She said if my lighter worked, I might want to smoke. If I learned to smoke, I might learn to swear. If I learned to swear, I might swear at her sometime. And if I ever did, she'd kick my several word sense of his. She'd stop my small word censored here, throat.
Well, excuse me, Wimp. I got to get Molly's breakfast. Everything ought to be about ready.
He's giving me my breakfast in bed, Mr. Wimple.
Isn't that nice? I gave Sweetie Face her breakfast in bed once.
You did? She enjoy it?
Well, no. She accused me of putting ground glass in her oatmeal.
How ridiculous.
Oh, I don't know.
I bet she was pretty sore about that, wasn't she, Mr. Wimple?
I don't know, Mrs. McGee. She was terribly hurt about it. So was I when she caught me.
Pardon my morbid curiosity, but what'd she do?
She just shook me and let me go. The doctor said he'd never seen two legs broken in so many places.
I thought you said she just shook you and let you go.
She did. But she was holding me out the upstairs window when she shook me.
Looky, here comes Cookie, the up-and-do.
Well, here you are, Molly. Breakfast is all served. Pull that table over here, Wimp, old man, so I can put this tray on.
Why, McGee, this is beautiful. Look at those waffles.
Yeah.
Oh, and does that coffee smell good? Where did you ever learn to fold a napkin like that?
Oh, shucks. That's nothing. Ought to see me put pants on a lamb chop. Have some breakfast, Wimp?
I believe I will, Mr. McGee. My, this looks good.
Oh, dear. Well, I never would have believed it.
Yeah, how'd she like the breakfast, boss?
Hey, get out of here,
Who are you?
Yeah, I'm the A1 catering service. I forgot to leave my card. Here you is, A1 catering service. Call us again anytime you're in trouble, boss.
Keeping food clean and at the right temperature is an important part of housekeeping here in America and Canada. Women in most other parts of the world envy us these handsome white refrigerators that stand in our kitchens. I don't need to tell you that it's wise to take extra good care of your refrigerator right now. But let me read you a short letter that just came in. Here it is. I have found a new use for Johnson's cream wax. After polishing my furniture till it glowed, I happened to put the cloth on top of the refrigerator. Surprise of surprises, when I saw a bit of dirt there, I whisked the cloth across it and discovered that the marks which I previously hadn't been able to remove came off like magic. A new use and an enormous help I have found this old-time friend. You just can't imagine how my refrigerator sparkles all over. Thank you for making my cleaning easier and my house brighter.
I don't care if you did call in the caterer, McGee. This was a beautiful breakfast.
No, I don't know. I thought the waffles were kind of tough.
You did?
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? As soon as I get the dishes washed, I'm going to mix you up a real
Oh,
fat...
no, not that.
Huh? Oh, okay. Good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of the old-timer and Walt Wimple heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The amount of money money you make can change. The value of a rationing coupon can change. But there's one thing that never does vary. There are only 24 hours in every day. Nothing you or I can do will ever make it 25. Which brings me to an interesting letter we received last week from a woman in busy Detroit. This is the first fan letter I've ever written, she says. But when I consider all the time Johnson's Wax saves me, I just must write. Like nearly everybody else, I now do all my own housework and care for my 2-year-old son. For all its time saving, I say thank goodness for Johnson's Wax. And for such a nice letter, we say thank you very much to a busy mother in Michigan. Very true that Johnson's Wax is saving hours of work for women everywhere, besides helping them to take better care of the things they have. It's been claimed that the female of the species is more deadly than the male. But when the male man is a woman, well, here on Pins and Needles, waiting for her arrival, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, for goodness sake, McGee, settle down.
Oh.
What are you expecting in the mail that's so important?
Now, you wait and see. It's something that might change the whole course of our lives.
Well, that appeals to me, too. So I will say, dearie, that life with you has never a dull moment.
Really? You don't just say that just because you admire me.
No, I just say that because I'd admire a dull moment now and then. With you, I never know what's going to happen next, so I always expect the worst. And I'm rarely disappointed, in spite of the fact that I've lived through it, which is surprising when I come to think of it, which I try not to.
Oh, just the same, did you ever stop to realize what a person could do if he knew exactly how to handle every situation as it come up?
Certainly. He'd go on information, please, and make a mug of Oscar Levan.
You don't get me.
I got you once. Do I have to keep doing it?
Oh, listen, Molly, this is serious. I'm expecting something in the mail that's going to make me rich and healthy and smart.
Heavenly days. Doesn't the government have enough criticism without you expecting miracles?
Okay, scoff if you want to. Be right. But this is important. What if something happened that I could look into the future and know exactly what was going to happen to it?
It'd be sickening. Don't we have enough trouble with what has happened? Who wants to peek into the future? Admitting for the sake of argument that you have one.
Well, for instance, suppose I had advanced knowledge that a certain stock was going to go up.
Yeah, you said you had that knowledge in 1929, and what happened? We were broke for 4 years.
Yeah, but there'd be no guesswork with this. I'd know. I could buy, say, amalgamated garbage can at 22, ride it up to 49 and sell out. Clean up $1 million in 2 days. I'd corner the market.
That reminds me. Run down to the corner market and get a can of beans. Take the racing book, dearie, and a loaded shotgun.
Molly, I gotta wait for the mail because I tell you I'm... Oh, boy, here she is now. Mark this day down on the counter, Molly. From today on, we're a success.
You open the door, dearie. I can't do it with my fingers crossed.
That I will. Come in, sis. Come in. Hey, Molly, it's her, all right. It's the baguette.
So I see. Good morning, dear. Won't you sit down and rest your special delivery?
No, thank you, Miss. I've got to keep going to get back to the post office. There's a hole in the bottom of my nail bag.
Really? The mail must go through.
Yes. That's our motto, Mr. McGee.
Huh? Oh. That's very good, sis. We almost made a joke. Well, what you got for us this morning?
Let me see what I have for you, Miss. Oh, yes. Here's that card from your Aunt Sarah, wishing you a happy George Washington's birthday. Remember?
Ah, never mind, Aunt Sarah. That skin-fisted old tight flint.
Now, McGee, stop talking like that about Aunt Sarah. She's a very generous person.
Yeah, she'd give you the back off her shirt. Why, that old miser believes in reincarnation just so she can leave all her dough to herself. Come on, sis. Come on. What else you got for us? I'm expecting some very, very important mail.
Oh, stop trembling, McGee. Anybody think your life was at stake? And what I've seen of your life is a pretty tough stake.
I'm afraid that's all I have for you this morning, Miss McGee. But, oh, no, here. You probably won't want this, though. It's just a circular.
Let's see it. Hey, this is what I've been waiting for. Oh, boy, now we're getting someplace. Thanks, sis. Remind me to put in a good word for you with the Department of Labor.
I work for the Post Office Department, Miss McGee.
Oh, what do you call that? Amusement?
You should be more polite with the male girl, McGee. She has a hard job.
Put your career into affinity with the universe. Put your future into rhythm with the psychic forces.
McGee, I was speaking to you.
Huh? Oh, how do you do? Let the stars foretell what fate has in store for you, and put yourself in tune with the infinite. Your astral plane. Huh? Oh, hey, look what I got. From the You Can Be What You Want to Be horoscope company. There's a key to success in 25 pages of wisdom. Distilled from the ancient Egyptian system of astrology and perfected by modern methods of character analysis. And all for 27 cents. Including postage.
And just what did you get for your 27 cents, Taurus?
Taurus, I'm Scorpio. Taurus is the bull.
So is Scorpio, if you ask me.
Look what the envelope says. Your complete character analysis tells about my health, business, marriage, friends, lucky days, lucky number, when to plant corn. You say something?
Is it necessary?
When to go fishing. My 72-year life cycle and special forecast for every day of the year.
Well, what they do when your 72 years are up? Come and shoot you?
Wait, now let me see. Scorpio, Scorpio.
Wherefore art thou Scorpio? And when you go to the store for a can of beans?
Don't say anything in my horoscope about going to the store. Now, let me see. December, January, February.
March.
Huh? Oh, okay. I'll get the beans. I'll be right back.
Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking. Who? Mr. McGee? No, he isn't here just now. May I take a message? Yes. Oh, an old schoolmate of Fibber's. Yes, I'll tell him. What was the name again? Stillwell? And the first name? Stuffy? Yes, I'll tell him you called Mr. Stuffwell. Yes, I'll tell him. Goodbye. That's funny. I don't remember McGee's mentioning anybody named Stuffy Stillwell. Still, it might have been an old pal of his.
You're under the influence of Venus. Don't say anything about the money. Well, here's your beans, Molly.
Thank you, dearie. What does your horoscope say about getting some meat for Sunday?
Nothing, but look what it says about today. It says March 16th will be a day of surprises for Scorpio. Hey, incidentally, what is a Scorpio?
Well, I think it's the Latin for a scorpion, dearie.
Oh.
And a scorpion is a kind of a lizard or something.
Does a Scorpio bite?
No, confidentially, it stings. So on with the reading.
Okay. It says March 16th will see the payment to Scorpio of a long overdue debt by an old schoolmate. I don't know what that means. I can't think of any old schoolmate.
I almost forgot it. Huh? An old schoolmate of yours called up while you were at the store.
What? He did? Who was it?
He said to tell you Stuffy Stillwell called.
Stuffy Stillwell? Well, how big? Oh, Stuffy Stillwell. Now, there's a guy that...
That what?
I can't quite place. I wonder where I knew a Stuffy Stillwell. You remember him from school?
No, I don't. Maybe he was in your geometry class.
Oh, that's it. That's why I don't remember him. I never took geometry.
You know, maybe there's something to this astrology business after all, McGee. Your horoscope says an old schoolmate will pop up and say a death, and boom, up pops the old schoolmate.
Ain't it wonderful? What did he say?
Well, he didn't say. He just had to tell you to call.
Oh, my gosh, you gotta find him. I can't make a liar out of my horoscope.
Maybe your horoscope gives his phone number, too. What else does it say?
Oh, let me see. No, it just says, be on your guard against a dark-haired, well-groomed man with a glib tongue and smooth manner. I wonder who said that.
Oh, not a bit, Mr. Wilcox. It's nice to see you.
Dark-haired, well-groomed, glib manner, smooth tongue. Well, what do you want, Junior? And watch your step. I'm on my guard.
What are you talking about?
Well, he just got his horoscope, Mr. Wilcox, and it says to beware of a dark-haired, well-groomed man.
On second thought, Molly, I was wrong. I apologize, Junior. You're not well-groomed.
Why, McGee? He is, too.
He is not. Look at him. No sideburns. No spat. No cane. No carnation. Why, he looks like a tramp.
Well, I used to have sideburns, but they got too long, and I cut them off.
Oh, how long did they get, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, long enough so people began asking me why I had my hat tied on. What sign were you born under, Fibber? Leo?
No, Scorpio. What made you think I was Leo?
Well, Leo means lion.
I get it.
Scorpio is a wonderful sign under which to be born under, Junior. Listen to what the chart says about Scorpio.
Yes.
It says Scorpio natives are endowed with strength, discretion, ingenuity, and tenacidity.
What was that last thing you're endowed with, chum?
Tenacidity, see? Let's go right here. Tenacidity.
That word, dearie, is tenacity.
Oh, well, I know that. I was giving it the Egyptian pronunciation. All this astrology stuff comes from the Egyptians, you know.
Sure, their mummies done told them. Well, I'm sort of a believer in that stuff myself, folks.
Are you really, Mr. Wilcox?
Sure, let me show you. When did you buy your kitchen linoleum?
Fire with Colorado and George, Queen, Frank, 675 on George
We
Street.
bought that linoleum in 1938, the end of January.
Does that prove anything?
Why, certainly it does. January 20th to February 19th is Aquarius, the water bearer.
That's right.
And how does linoleum bear water? Because smart housewives protect it with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. Keeps it from drying out, losing its color, and getting scuffed and scratched. Now, when did you buy your last container of glow coat, Molly?
Well, now, let me see. I don't remember, but we'll need some more at the end of the month.
1st of April. What's that?
That's Aries, the ram.
That's right.
Ruled by the planet Mars. And how do you protect linoleum against Mars and scratches and dust and dirt and damp? With Johnson's self-polishing glow coat, that's how. You see how it works out?
Well, what's the ram got to do with it?
The ram, that's simple. A ram is a male sheep. And wouldn't you feel sheepish if you kept on with the old-fashioned floor scrubbing? When you could use glow coat that shines as it dries in 20 minutes or less and gives you a lot less work and a lot more leisure?
Gee, I never realized there was so much to astrology.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to live up to this every minute of the day. For instance, it says here, anyone who crosses a native of Scorpio on the morning of March 16th will run into difficulty. An accident will befall him.
You really believe that?
Oh, no. That's a lot of horse
It
feathers.
is not a lot of horse feathers.
Oh, it is, too. It's silly.
It is not silly, and you better look out, Wilcox. I'm a Scorpio, and you're crossing me. An accident will befall you.
Oh, now, McGee.
Oh, let him go, Molly. You can't argue with people who believe in that stuff. Well, I'll see you later, Scorpio.
McGee, you shouldn't be so gullible. After all, a two-bit horoscope. Good heavens, what was that?
I think Mr. Wilcox is studying the stars. They're telling him about that wobbly front step I've been meaning to fix. That'll learn him. That's what he gets for crossing the Scorpio. When my horoscope predicts, hey, but I gotta locate Stumpy still with him, right?
Oh,
Well, he'll be at the Ritz Vista Hotel.
that's a very expensive place. How do you know he'll be there?
Simple logic. He's an old schoolmate. He owes me some dough. When I went to school, I never had much dough. Therefore, it was a small amount he owes me. Who likes to dish out their dough in small amounts? Rich people. And where do the rich people stay? At the Ritz Vista. And besides, it's the only hotel in town. Give me the phone.
McGee, sometimes I think you're almost as smart as you claim. Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the Ritz Vista. Ho-ho. Is that you, Mert? How's every little thing, Mert? Is it? What's that, Mert? Your grandmother? Came home plastered last night.
Heavenly days, her grandmother.
Yeah, she was knitting at the Red Cross and the ceiling fell in on them. Oh, that's tough, Mert. What's that, Mert? Oh, thanks. Hello, Rich, the hotel? I want to talk to Mr. Stillwell. Huh? Well, tell him Mr. McGee called, will you? Thanks. Stuffy's gone out, Molly. You know, I think I remember him now.
I think I do, too. Stuffy Stillwell. He was the boy who broke his clavicle when he fell off his sled on Underwood Hill. Wasn't he?
That's the guy. That's the very guy. And you know what? I loaned him 37 cents once to pay a fine on some library books.
Yes?
If he hadn't paid that fine, he couldn't have took out any more books. Then he'd have flunked every course. Why, that guy owes his whole education to me. I put him through high school. No wonder he's grateful.
So you loaned him 37 cents, which put him through high school.
You betcha.
Why didn't you give him an even $50 and send him to college?
It would have been bad for his character. He'd have got so he depended on me. Would have been a dime here and a dime here and a dime there.
Well, you study your horoscope, Scorpio. I've got to get things ready for lunch.
Ah, there goes a good kid. I'm going to give her half of whatever old Stillwell gives me in his gratitude. No, not half. I paid for the whole horoscope myself. Make it a third. Let's see, what's a third of $10,000? I can't divide that. Better make it a tenth. $1,000. He's a lucky kid, though. I'll bet most guys wouldn't even get hot dog. I'll bet that's old Stuffy now. Good old Stuffy. Come in. Oh, gee. Well, come in, but don't bother me, sis. I got some studying to do. Just got my horoscope from the You Can Be What You Want to Be horoscope company.
Sam, you got a horoscope, mister? Can I also at once from
A horoscope isn't something you look through, sis. You're thinking of a telescope or a microscope or a periscope. A horoscope has to do with astrology.
Oh, what's astrology, mister?
Astrology, sis, is the science of forecasting events by the movements of the planets.
Oh, my mama was doing that all morning, mister.
Studying astrology?
No, moving planets. She moved her geranium planets off the back part, and she moved her tomato planets behind the garage, and moved her crocus planets.
No. Look, sis, you're all mixed up.
I know it.
By planets, I mean the stars in the sky, like the sun and the moon and the stars.
Oh.
You see, everybody's life is influenced by the stars. Everybody is born under some kind of a sign.
I know it. Mm-hmm. I had a puppy once, and he was born under a cigarette sign on the corner of 14th.
You better run along now, sis. I got work to do, and besides, I'm expecting a guest.
Who?
Now, that is none of your affairs, so scram.
Can I tell you a riddle before I go, mister?
You mean a riddle, sis? A ripple is a wrinkle on a river. What's the riddle?
Well, what is it that Russia and England and America and China have got that Hitler hasn't got?
What has America and England and Russia and China got that Hitler hasn't got?
Give up?
Yeah.
So will Hitler. Come on, mister.
Men saying Irving Berlin Stewart's song, This Is the Army, we don't like it.
Herr Dr. Goebbels is on the air today. Let's tune in and get Berlin and hear what he has to say. But the Russians push us back, we don't like it. In the winter they attack, we don't like it. Then they call us ruthless murderers, we didn't make a fuss. But now they're invading, they can't do that to us. Casablanca's full of Yanks, we don't like it. They got ships and planes and tanks, we don't like it. While we're winning as we should, Hitler speaks on das ist gut. But when Hitler don't make speeches, we don't like it. When the RAF begins, we don't like it. When they fly above Berlin, we don't like it. When they showered us with paper pie, we didn't make a fuss. But bombs with explosives, they can't do that to us. Every covered here is bad, we don't like it. And we got no clothes to wear, we don't like it. Herman Goering had to speak in the same suit twice last week. And the men Goering can change costumes. We don't like it. When the Germans took the Greeks, we don't like it. When the Allied nations speak, we don't like it. They got soldiers who are not afraid of mighty fists or guns. That's not how we planned it. They canceled that to us. In Japan, our hands are tied. We don't like it. Mussolini's on our side. We don't like it. We just take our rightful place, for we are the master race. But they... Right in our face. We don't like it.
Dearie. Better get washed up now.
Okay, but listen to this, will you? My horoscope says 5 presidents of the United States were Scorpio subjects.
Really?
Yeah, John Adams, James J. Polk, James Garfield, and Theodore Roosevelt.
That's only 4.
I know, but I've been thinking of going into politics myself. There's a friend of mine, Fred Nitley from Starved Rock. Hey, I'll bet that's old Stuffy Silver. Let him in, Molly, let him in. Gee whiz, don't keep old Stuffy.
Don't calm yourself, McGee. It's only Mrs. Uppington.
What does that old beanbag want?
I don't know, but aren't you forgetting your horoscope?
What do you mean?
Well, it says for you to be courteous and polite to everyone up until 12 o'clock noon, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And it's still 5 minutes to 12.
Oh, well, do me a favor and tell me when it's 12 o'clock, will you? Because...
Come in. Well, hello, Abigail Dodge.
How do you do, Mrs. McGee and Mr. McGee?
Good morning, Mrs. Uppington. A very good morning to you. You're looking very charming this morning. As the cream and sugar said to the spoon, won't you join us in a cup of coffee?
Thank you. Is anything wrong, Mr. McGee?
Oh, why no, my dear girl. Not a thing. Thank you for inquiring, however. What time is it, Molly?
4 minutes to 12. If you mean his unusual politeness, Abigail, his horoscope advised it. He was born under the same sign as little Lord Fauntleroy.
Oh, how utterly fascinating. I used to be so interested in astrology, and I was going to the dearest Swami.
Swami, eh? You a pretty good swimmer, Uppy?
A Swami has nothing to do with swimming, dearie. A Swami is a man with a towel around his head who looks into the future.
Most guys I've seen with towels around their heads were moaning about the past. Do tell us more about it, won't you, Mrs. Uppington? I find it most interesting. What time is it, Molly?
2.5 minutes to 12, and don't overdo it, McGee. That phony smile shows more teeth than hair.
Oh, very amusing, my dear. But come, Mrs. Hugh. I should like to hear some more of your experiences in occult affairs.
Well, it was extremely interesting, Mr. McGee. The Swami was looking into a crystal.
I looked into a crystal just this morning.
Oh, what did it say?
8:30. What time is it now, Molly?
2 minutes to 12.
Oh, good heavens, I had no idea it was so late. I must be going. I have an appointment at the beauty parlor at noon.
Oh, don't go, Uppy. Gee whiz, not for a while yet, anyway. Stick around a couple of minutes.
Why, Mr. McGee, how charming of you to insist that I simply not be going, really.
1 minute and 45 seconds.
Oh, come on, Uppy. Sit down a while. I have so many things I want to say.
Can't you tell me later?
That's the only time he can tell you. 1 minute to 12.
Good gracious, only 1 minute to get to the beauty parlor. I must rush along. Good day, my dear. Goodbye, Mr. McGee.
Oh, the dirty luck. Half a minute more and I could have opened up on the old wind.
But why, McGee? She hasn't done anything to you.
I know that, but she rubs me the wrong way.
You mean she ribs you the wrong way? Every time you get into an argument with her, she pins your ears back. And on you, it looks good.
Well, she don't... Hey, I almost forgot. I got to find Stuffy Stillwell.
Seems to me you're getting awfully excited about a loan of 37 cents.
You think he's only going to pay me back 37 cents? You realize what the compound interest is on 37 cents for over 20 years? Why, it's around $10,000.
How do you know?
That's just a rough estimate. Might be more for all I know. But when a rich millionaire like Stuffy Stillwell decides to come...
Come in.
Does Mr. Fibber McGee live here? I am Mr. Stillwell.
Well, I'll be a good old Stuffy Stillwell. Stuffy, old man, come right in. Long time no see.
The same old McGee, still coining phrases. And my goodness, isn't this little Molly Driscoll?
Molly Driscoll as was, Mr. Stillwell. Molly McGee, now won't you sit down?
Sure. Sit down. Let's talk over old school days, eh? Remember the time I loaned you that 37 cents to pay your fine at the library?
No, I don't remember that.
What?
You don't? Well, then why? I mean, my horoscope says you... Well, well, you sure look like you've done all right in the world, stuffy old man. Have much of an income tax this year?
Don't be so subtle, McGee. You know, Mr. Stillwell, it's a funny thing, but Fibber's horoscope told him an old school chum would show up today and repay an old debt. Isn't that strange?
Oh, I don't know. That's exactly what I came for, Molly.
Ah, forget it, Stillwell, old man. Yeah, what's 37 cents? What if it did let you complete your education so you could go on out in the world and get rich? What if it was the turning point in your life? Gee whiz, I'm proud to be responsible for your success.
I don't remember any 37 cents, McGee. All I can remember is the time I was sliding down Underwood's Hill on my sled, and you hit me with a snowball and knocked me off the sled, and I broke my collarbone.
I told you it was his clavicle, McGee.
And I was laid up for 2 months.
Yeah?
And I swore if I ever caught up with you, McGee, I'd pay you back for that. Now, here you are.
Oh, heavenly day.
If he wants to make anything of this, Molly, he can see me at my office in New York. I am president of the You Can Be What You Want to Be Horoscope Company.
It looks as though spare parts for all your electrical and mechanical gadgets around the house are going to be still harder to get as time goes on. Very sound advice we're getting from all sides to take extra good care of our toasters, vacuum cleaners, refrigerators. And while we're out there in the kitchen, let's not forget the floor covering. You can make your linoleum floors last 6 to 10 times longer by protecting them regularly with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. That's a great big dividend when you consider the glow coat is so easy to use because it shines as it dries without rubbing or buffing. It protects linoleum against wear and dirt, revives faded colors, and glow-coated floors are easy to keep clean because spilled things are wiped up in a jiffy. If you have children and a Cocker Spaniel running around the house, you'll be especially grateful for the cleanliness and the labor savings made possible by the regular use of Johnson's self-polishing glow coat.
Does your jaw still hurt, dearie?
No, not so bad. That guy sure packed a wall, don't he?
Yes, and while you were still unconscious, he came back and left 37 cents for you.
What, no interest?
He said that he really intended to kill you, but he saw your elf tooth and realized you were out of season.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, Al.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. Makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. This morning, bright and early, I had an idea. Oh, yes, I have ideas once in a while. Why not start a special little department here on the show? Call it the Department of New or Unusual Uses for Johnson's Wax. I could even ask you people to write in and tell me about new uses you've discovered for wax. And maybe we'll read them on future programs. Isn't that a good idea? For one thing, we may all get some very timely suggestions, either for saving work or protecting our things. I could start off this Department of New Uses with a letter that came in the other day from a woman in Illinois. Here it is. I always wax my oilcloth tabletops and pantry shelves. I wonder how many other women have discovered this new use for your wonderful Johnson's Wax. It keeps the oilcloth glistening, easy to clean, makes it last longer, and the dishes don't stick to the cloth. Yes, sir, folks, that's just one of the 100 extra uses for Johnson's Wax. For protecting, beautifying, taking better care of the things you have. It's a strange and wonderful thing that in times of great national emergency, some born leader always arises to lead his people to victory. In England, there's Churchill. In America, there's Roosevelt. In Russia, there's Stalin. In China, there's Chiang Kai-shek. And in Wistful Vista, during the Red Cross drive, there's... Well, wouldn't you just know it? And here he is as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
So you've been appointed to collect funds for the American Red Cross, have you?
Couldn't turn them down.
When do you have to go to Washington?
Oh, I won't have to go to Washington. It's too crowded. I couldn't do my best work there. They say they got people sleeping on billiard tables down there.
What's another 7 hours behind the 8 ball to you anyway?
Oh, anyway, I'm not exactly the national collector for the Red Cross.
Oh, just for this state, huh?
Well, no, not exactly for the whole state. You see,
Just for Wistful Vista?
Well, practically, yes. I'm in charge of this neighborhood. Or to be strictly accurate, of this street.
Oh, the whole street?
No, just this side of the street.
Well, heavenly days, even that's a responsibility. The whole of one side of the street.
Oh, it ain't exactly the whole side of the street. Just this end of this side of the street.
Your territory's getting more exclusive by the minute, dearie. You sure you're not just in charge of the last 4 feet of the east side of our coal cellar?
No, sir. I got the responsibility of collecting funds for this whole end of the street. My quota is $50.
$50? Isn't that a lot?
$50 is just a drip in the sink. You realize that the Red Cross has already turned out 520 million surgical dressings? Did you know that the Red Cross operates 150 service clubs and recreation centers for the guys overseas? Do you realize...
Wait a minute, dearie. You don't have to sell me the Red Cross.
Oh.
What I want to know is, who appointed you?
Well, you see, it was a kind of a volunteer thing. They were
Who
all...
appointed you?
Well, frankly, it boiled down to a choice.
Who appointed you?
I did.
Who said the quota is $50?
I did, and I'll collect it, too. If anybody comes to this house today without kicking in some dough, I ain't the salesman I think I am.
All right. You don't have to stick your chin out at me. It's a wonderful idea, and I'll help you. How much does the Red Cross need in all?
$125 million.
Well, you may have a hard time collecting money for anything just after people have turned their pockets inside out to pay income taxes.
This ain't a matter of reaching into your pocket. This is a matter of reaching into your heart. You pay taxes on a percentage of your income to support the government. You give to the Red Cross on a percentage of your belief in humanity. Excuse me if I sound a little drippy, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, you know, in that case, I think 50 is too low a quota.
Okay, I'll double it. I'll make it $100.
Good.
And if I don't collect it, I'll write my personal check for the difference.
Oh, sure. Give them your check in a fielder's club.
Huh?
Maybe they can catch it on the third bound.
Don't worry, the bank knows me.
They should. You worn out one of their rubber stamps. You know, the one that says, "We regret to inform you that..."
You know how bankers are. They've been peeking through those brass bars so long, they got a very narrow outlook. You know why old McDonald down at the Third National has to start wearing sports shirts?
No.
Because shaking his head no all day in a high collar, he was sawing his head off. As a friend of mine, old Fred Nittany of Starved Rock, Illinois, used to say, he says to me...
Come in. Well, for goodness sake, if it isn't Abigail Uppington.
How do you do, Mrs. McGee? I'm Miss McGee.
Hi, Effie. Swing your frame on a chair and save a third of coupon 17. I was just talking about you.
You were?
Yes, sir. I was just saying. Now, you take Uppie, I says. Now, there's a gal that's as open-handed as they come. Always ready to toss a buck on the drum for a good cause. As warm-hearted as a hot hamburger and as generous as the day is long in the Arctic Circle.
How much do you want? And for what?
You have the subtle approach of a 20 mule team crossing a wooden bridge, McGee. Well, it's about the Red Cross War Fund, Abigail. McGee is collecting for it.
I've set a quota of $100 for this end of the street, Uppie, and it's a darn good call.
How much do you want to give, Abigail?
Well, nothing at the moment, my dear.
What do you mean?
I sent them a large check yesterday morning.
Oh, my gosh, and I was counting on you, Uppie. Hey, you got any sporting blood, kid?
Now what, McGee?
Ever see a pair of these before, Uppie?
Why, what interesting little objects, Mr. McGee. Native ivory, are they not?
Yes.
They're called dye savages, otherwise known as Memphis marbles, Birmingham dominoes, and gutter golf balls.
You play a game with them called craps, Uppy. What do you say we try it? Oh, say for a nominal sum. The winnings to be donated to the Red Cross. What do you say, kid?
Oh, McGee, now don't take advantage of Abigail's ignorance.
Oh, my dear, I should love to try it. What does one do with the juice?
Dice, Uppy. Dice.
Oh, but there are two of them, Mr. McGee. Dye singular, juice plural.
Well, there's still dice, Abigail. And it's singular what people can do with them, plural. Sure, McGee.
Now, look, Uppy, you shake them in your hand like this, you see? Mm-hmm. Then you throw them out and try to throw 7. But if the dots on top add up to, say, 8, why, that's your point. You got to throw them again and try to make an 8, see? If you get a 7 before you make your point, you lose. Otherwise, you keep trying for the 8 till you get the 8.
Oh, sounds ridiculously easy, Miss McGee.
Famous last word.
Well, you got the right spirit, Uppy. And whatever I win, I'll give to the Red Cross. How much you want to play for?
Well, you said some nominal sum. Let's say $20.
Wow.
That isn't nominal, that's phenomenal.
Well, $20 it is, Uppy. Now, you take the dice. Here. No, not in the palm of your hand, not between your thumb and forefinger. $20 on the carpet, and I'll cover it. You kneel down and roll them out. Go ahead.
This is fun, isn't it, really? I should warn you, Mr. McGee, I was very good at saying jacks when I was a girl. Ready?
Ready.
Shoot 'em.
Come on, babies. Talk to Mama. Come 11. A 4 and a tray, and we're here all day. A 5 and a 2 calls a really do. Heaven it is. Cover that 20, and you're going to need no leather. Roll it up again, Abigail. Another sound straight from heaven. Wow, am I hot tonight? Come on, ration book. Mama needs shoes. 8 up, Undercator. 8 my point, and I'll clean the joint. Feed me, buddy, feed me.
Well, I'll be a month.
Look out, Wolf, here comes Little Red Riding Hood.
Here we go again. Come 7. 7 or 11. Come 7.
Did Abigail finally take it for, McGee?
$37. But she promised she'd give it to the Red Cross. Hey, can you imagine her playing bright-eyed innocence, and all the time she shoots craps like she'd served 7 hitches in the Marines?
I never saw anything like it. She handled those ivories like she'd been a personal friend of the elephant that grew 'em.
I wonder if she's ever had any bone operation.
Why?
I'll bet them dice were carved out of her own clavicle. Of all the dirty tricks I
Did you give Abigail $37 in cash?
No, I gave her a check.
A check?
Yeah.
Well, you haven't got that much in the bank.
I will have before the day is over.
But that money will be for the Red Cross.
Sure it is. I give her my check, she gives it to the Red Cross. I cover it with what I collect.
Oh, dear.
As long as the Red Cross gets $100, that's all I care.
You've got me all confused. I think you better call Mr. McDonald at the Third National and tell him you might be a little overdrawn.
What? Call that penny-pinching old pettifogger? No, sir. That guy ain't human. He's an iceberg that was left over from the glacial period, and they built the bank around him.
I think Mr. McDonald is very nice. He always...
Uh-oh, the mail girl. The bagette. Come in.
Hello, dearie. Any mail for us today?
Nothing but a postcard, Mrs. McGee. It's from Mr. McGee's Uncle Sycamore in Horse's Head, New York. It's way down in the bottom of my mail bag, but I can dig it out in 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, don't bother, sis. Never mind. You remember what the message was?
Yes. He says he struck oil on his farm last week, and he hopes you'll forgive him.
Forgive him for striking oil?
Oil is the name of a hound dog I gave him once. They call him Oil because he acts so crude. Hey, sis, you got a minute to spare?
Certainly.
Well, look, this is my territory to collect money for the Red Cross War Fund, you see? They're putting on a drive this month in this country and Canada.
But I already signed a pledge in my own neighborhood.
Look, sis, I'll make you a sporting proposition. How much dough you got with you?
$3.30.
Okay, we'll cut the cards for $3. Whichever of us wins gives the dough to the Red Cross. How about it?
That's fair enough.
Here's a deck of cards, McGee.
Now, you cut them first, sis. Just draw a card. Any card.
All right. Here you are. The ace of spades.
No use you drawing, McGee. You can't hit the ace of spades.
Now, you win, sis. Just send the $3 to the Red Cross.
Very well, Mr. McGee. No, you send it.
Huh? Oh, okay. Now I'm out $40. Imagine the luck of that gal. Out of 52 cards, she has to draw the highest one in the deck. I don't see why.
McGee, you know what I did? I gave you the wrong deck.
What you mean?
This is that pack of cards you bought at the magic shop to do tricks with.
Huh?
And every card in it is the ace of spades.
Oh.
I still think you ought to call Mr. McDonald about that check you gave Mrs. Uppington.
I ain't calling McDonald till I absolutely have to. He's too tough. Why, that guy won't even let his kids play the piano because they might negotiate a couple of bad notes.
Well, as a collector for the Red Cross, you're not exactly the...
Hello, folks. Glad to find you at home.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Arlo, you're just the guy I was hoping to see. I'm campaigning.
For what? Fewer ration points on corn?
Don't irk me, Junior. Don't irk me.
No, don't, Mr. Wilcox. He's had a long enough irking day as it is.
Well, what's the campaign?
Oh, look, son. Who is it that goes all over the world bringing good health and good cheer and a helping hand? Who represents the finest and best and unselfish devotion to the cause of making the old world a better place to live? And don't say the Johnson Wax Man.
I wasn't going to. I was going to say the Red Cross.
Oh, well, good for you, Junior. Now, look, I'm the collector in this neighborhood for the Red Cross War Fund. How's about throwing $5 or $10 on the drum, huh?
Well, I'd be glad to, chum, but I'm a little short at the moment. Will Thursday do?
Of course it will.
No, it won't. I want it today. And while I didn't want to mention it at this time, Junior, you can pay me that $25 you owe me. I'll give that to the Red Cross and call the debt paid.
What, $25?
You know the time you were short on your income tax in 1934, and I loaned you $25.
Did he, Mr. Wilcox?
By golly, he did. And that reminds me. How about that $50 I gave you to bribe that cop the time you knocked over the traffic light? You owe me $25, and I can use it.
Oh, my gosh, I forgot all about that. Well, look, if I give you a check for it, will you send it to the Red Cross?
I certainly will, pal. I'll endorse it over to him right here and now.
Now, McGee, if you write another check, Mr. McDonald will be angry.
Who's Mr. McDonald?
He's the man who will be angry if McGee writes the check.
Oh.
Here you are, Junior. Now, let me see you endorse it to the Red Cross.
All right, here. Give me your pen.
Yeah.
Pay to the Order of American Red Cross.
Maybe he writes that.
Well, I get this right in the mail, pal. So long, Molly.
Let me see, 40 and 25, that's $65 you're overdrawn, McGee.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have people sending the Red Cross bad checks.
They're not bad. You think I'm a crook? I'll make those checks good. Old McDonald at the bank will cover me.
Well, he wouldn't if you knew what you say about him.
But he don't. He don't know I think he's a miserly old peep squawk, or squeak pop, or foot squeak. What do I mean?
Pipsqueak.
Yeah. Remember the trouble we had with him when we bought this house and he put the deal through escort?
You don't mean escort, you mean escrow.
I do not. Escrow is a magazine for men.
You're thinking of Esquire.
Esquire? I thought an esquire was a guy that lived in an igloo and ate blubber.
That's Eskimo.
Well, then what's an escort?
An escort is somebody who takes you places.
Well, that's McDonald, all right. He sure took that.
Well, all I can say, dearie, is that...
Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Heavenly days, Mr. Wimp.
Hi, Wimp, old sock. Where you been all this time?
Out of town, Mr. McGee.
Oh.
I went to New York to see my publishers. They bought one of my poems.
Port, plow, or storm, we airmen of the sea, proud to shield our land of liberty. For we're the skyline of defense, the Navy's flying might, the first in every fight. On wings of steel, we'll never yield the blue. Sky anchors away, sky high, anchors away. Anchors away. Airmen of the Navy, wings at sea, watchmen of Columbia's fleet, heed not to the call for victory, ready to fly, ready to fight, ready to die, speed on to defend America. Airmen of the Navy blue, fly fighting for all America. Give her the gun, ever alert, war to be won. Oh, sky anchors away, to keep from flying high. We're masters of the sky. The Navy blue will blow the boat to bits to guard our nation. Naval aviation is the skyline of defense. The greatest of the earth, we'll fight for all we're worth. We'll always keep the Navy blue to law. Sky anchors away, anchors away. Sky
Let me see now. $37 to Uppington, 25 to Wilcox, 17.50 to Wimple. $80. Hey, Molly.
Don't bother me, dearie. I'm making the bed.
Did you look and see how much I had left in my checkbook?
Yes, I did.
How much?
13 cents.
My gosh, 13 cents. $80 and 13 cents. You can't subtract that. Well, looks like I gotta go see old McDonald. That old nickel nurse is sitting on $70 million, and he'll scold me for $80. If I wasn't collecting for the Red Cross, I'd... Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, little girl. Don't bother me today now. I got heavy responsibilities. I says I got heavy responsibilities. I'm collecting today for the Red Cross.
Oh, how much have you collected for him so far, mister?
Well, I haven't exactly, no actual cash. That is, well, the Red Cross is getting about $80 so far.
Oh, gee, that ain't hay, is it, mister?
No, that ain't, but we gotta do better. Have you got any money, sis?
Sure, I have, I bet you.
How much?
I got $50.
Who am I to snare to $50? Let me take it, sis, and I'll match it for it. Winner to give it to the Red Cross.
Okay, mister, here.
I'll flip it and call. Heads or tails? Go.
Here.
Well, I'll be it. Heads it is. Okay, you win, sis. Here's your $50 and another one. Hey, you want to do it again?
No, thanks. No, thanks, mister. If we keep on playing, you might win my $50 and you couldn't spend it anyway.
Why couldn't I?
Because that's why my daddy gave it to me.
Huh?
It's got 2 heads on it. So long, mister.
Well, that's settled. I'm getting in too deep. Hey, Molly.
Yes, dear.
Get your hat. We gotta go see old McDonald. Now look, Mac, old man. I always spoke very highly of you.
Have you a cold, Mrs. McGee?
No, Mr. McDonald. No, don't let me interrupt.
You were saying, Mr. McGee.
I was saying that I've been overdrawn before, Mac. You've always covered me, and I always made it good. Gee whiz, what's a mere $83?
Mr. McGee, I am a banker. I am responsible to hundreds of depositors in this bank. I must know when we advance money that it isn't going for something foolish. What became of the $83 you want me to replace in your checking account?
Well, he lost 37 in the crap game and 25 in...
Crap game? Now, look here.
Now, wait a minute, Mac. Now, wait a
Wait
while.
a minute, McGee. What about the $25, Mrs. McGee?
Well, that was perfectly legitimate, Mr. McDonald. He paid off an old debt to Mr. Wilcox that he'd owed for 7 or 8 years.
Man, see, that shows I'm honest, don't it?
Honest? Letting a debt go for 7 years before you paid it off? How long will it take you to pay off the money you'll owe this bank? No, McGee, I'm
Of course, the $17.50 he lost was legitimate, Mr. McDonald. He merely made a wager and he lost to Mr. Wimple.
A wager. He gambles. He bets. He lets his debts ride for year after year.
Yeah, but look, Mac, old
No
man.
use, McGee. You're thoroughly irresponsible. I can't give you a cent. You'll have to make those checks good the best you can.
Yes,
But how about the Red Cross?
The what?
the Red Cross, Mac. I was trying to collect the money for them. $100 was my quota. All my checks were endorsed to them.
Well, why didn't you say so? Why were you wasting my time? Don't you know I have a son in the Army and a nephew in the Air Corps and a niece in the WAC?
No, we didn't know.
Don't you think I want to back them up with everything I can?
Well,
For goodness sake, do you think any of us can afford to let the Red Cross down when they're feeding starving children all over the world, making life bearable for prisoners of war, saving lives with blood plasma, training nurses for all branches of the service? What's the matter with you, McGee?
Well, gee whiz,
What's the idea of losing only a miserable $37 shooting crap when the money goes to the Red
Well,
Cross?
he only...
Don't interrupt me. Swallow, put $83 in Mr. McGee's checking account immediately. And listen to me, McGee. If I ever hear of you making any more silly bets for less than $1,000 when the Red Cross gets the money, I'll close your account. Now get out.
Okay, man.
In going around into people's homes, I always notice the floor. I guess you'd expect that from me, wouldn't you? Like a bus driver on holiday? Of course, I see all kinds of floors, and all kinds of linoleum. I always get a big kick out of finding a piece of linoleum that looks like new, colors bright and fresh, only to find out that it's actually 15 or 20 years old. Why, it's been waxed ever since we put it down, and now it's protected regularly with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. That's the answer, I guess. And there on the pantry shelf, sure enough, is the familiar can or bottle of Johnson's glow coat that takes such good care of that linoleum, increases its life 6 to 10 times. All in addition to saving many hours of your time, because glow coat needs no rubbing or buffing. It shines as it dries. Johnson's glow coat is your real friend and alive.
McGee, there's something I want to say to you.
Look, Molly, if it's about shooting craps, I promise I'll never...
It wasn't about shooting crap. I just...
I know, letting that debt to Wilcox run so long. Gee whiz, I just forgot it, that's all. And after this, I promise I'll
It
always...
wasn't about your debts. I merely wanted...
All right, so I did match coins with that little girl. But my gosh, she's old enough.
I wasn't going to say anything about matching coins. All I was...
Talking dirty about old McDonald, I take that back. He's okay, but I never knew...
Will you be quiet a minute?
Okay, let's have it. What do you want to say?
Good night.
Huh? Oh, good night.
Good night.
The character of Wallace Wimple heard on this program was played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Chicago, WMAQ at 9 p.m. WLOVA, Boulevard Watch Time.
The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn. Music by the King's Band and Billy Mills Orchestra.
me to thank those of you who have written recently to thank us for keeping Fibber McGee and Molly on the air. Your letters have been very much appreciated by our sponsors, the makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coats, and by all of us here on the show. We sincerely hope this program will continue to entertain you every Tuesday night for the entire duration and long after. The makers of Johnson's Wax feel a distinct obligation to continue the show, in spite of such problems as packaging, labor, and material shortages that every manufacturer has to contend with these days. In spite of the large volume of special Johnson's Wax finishes that are going directly or indirectly into war work. The management of the S.C. Johnson & Son have made it clear to all of us that the program should be made as helpful as possible to the war effort, not only as entertainment, but also as a means of giving you valuable service information. We shall certainly carry on with that thought in our minds. Do you know the difference between truth and rumor? A truth has only one father, but a rumor is adopted by thousands. We will now witness some adoption proceedings by the squire of 79 Wistful Vista, who is walking along minding his own business. Mr. McGee of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, had a little pony and his name was Chief. Now he's on the menu as barbecue beef.
Hey, McGee, wait a minute. Hey, McGee.
Huh? Oh, hi, Joe. What's the matter?
Look, McGee, you know what I just heard?
No.
Well, I just heard. And he was talking about him. He was talking about him. See,
My gosh, Joe. Are you sure?
Absolutely. Not many people know it. I'm only telling you a few of my best friends.
Gee whiz. Well, thanks a lot, Joe. I'll see you later. Hey, Molly. Molly, where are you? Hey, Molly.
What's the matter, McGee? What are you so excited?
Hey, give me some money, quick. Come on, hurry up. Give me some money. I gotta run down and buy a flock of trusses. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up.
But why? You don't need a truck.
I know, but a guy just told me they're freezing them at midnight.
Listen, dear, for goodness sake, calm yourself. If we're going to rush out and buy things we don't need just because there might be a shortage of them, why don't we stock up on Flandeckers?
We got lots of... What's a Flandecker?
Well, that's a little gadget that fits over the mouth of a rumor monger to keep him from blowing his top. Now, come on down the basement. I need your help.
Doing what?
The washing machine has gone haywire. It's throwing laundry all over the cellar. And it hit me in the face with the shirt.
One of my good shirts?
Never mind the shirt. Have a little sympathy for me. Now, come on.
What seems to be the matter with the washing machine?
Well, after serious consideration, I've come to the conclusion that it won't run.
Oh. Shucks, I'll have this thing running in no time. Now, let me see. Gearbox probably needs adjusting. Where's the monkey wrench?
I don't know. Anyway, I tried adjusting the gearbox. I don't think that's it. I think this machine is just dying of old age.
Impossible. It was guaranteed for a lifetime.
Sure, and the company that made it went out of business in 1912. This particular model went out of style with a mustache cup and the ankle-length bathing suit.
Well, let me take a whirl at her. Where's the switch?
Right there on the side.
I got it. Let's see. Oh!
Look out, McGee. It's all coming apart. It's throwing wheels.
Hey, turn it off! Turn it off!
I can't. Throw the switch into the fruit cellar. Oh, dear, oh, dear. McGee.
Huh?
I just remembered where I left the monkey wrench.
Where?
In the gearbox.
Boy, it sure is a wreck now.
Oh, dear.
Superman couldn't put this back together now.
I haven't seen so many crooked parts since my nearsighted uncle sold his barber shop. Well, what do we do now?
Just stand here and wait, I guess. Well, we can't buy a new washer, that's the thing. I better get these parts together and see if a repairman can make sense out of it. Give me something to wrap them up in.
Here. Here's the newspaper, dearie.
Thanks. I'll take them downtown and see if I can find...
What's the matter?
Look in this newspaper you give me. Here's an ad in the classified. For sale. Electric washing machine by a woman in good condition. With ringing and ironing attachments. Must sell before April 1st. April 1st, hey, that's the day after tomorrow. Says telephone Mrs. J. Benchley Monks, Wistful Vista, 9807.
Heavenly day, talk about coincidences. If this happened on the radio, the listeners would just sneer, wouldn't they?
Well, there's a power that watches over me, baby. Come on, let's get on the phone.
Here, I hope we're in time, McGee. You know, these days, no washing machine is going to stand around wringing its pillowcases from lonesomeness.
Don't worry. Providence didn't put that paper under my nose just to let somebody else beat me to it. Hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Wistful Vista. Hand me that newspaper.
Okay.
Wistful Vista, 980. Oh, is that you, Mert?
We haven't got time for that now. We've
How's every little thing, Mert? There's her. What's her name, Mert? Your sister. Studying to be a what? A gunner.
What on earth for, McGee?
The sailor she's going with wants to be a gunner's mate. Hey, Mert, give me 9807, will you? Huh? Disconnected.
I've warned you, McGee. There's been so many calls, she shut off her phone.
Well, look, Mert, what's the address of that phone number? Oh, I know you ain't allowed to, Mert, but gee whiz, this is, huh? She is? Okay, Mert, thanks a lot. Come on, Molly, get your hat.
Did she give you the address?
No, they ain't allowed to, but she says the party that had that phone was always calling up Jimmy Sales Grocery. They'll know.
Oh, good. Wait just a minute while I put my face on. I'll be with you in a jiffy, dearie.
Hey, wear an old dress, Molly. We don't want them to think we can pay too much for this washer.
I can wear my newest one and still get 40% off.
Ah, there's a good kid. I bust her washing machine all to pieces, and she never says a word. Just gives me a dirty look and lets it go at that. If I ever had it... Ah, dear. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello, little girl. Now, I haven't got time to stand around and fan the breeze with you today. Mrs. McGee and I are going out.
Where?
Is it any of your business?
No.
Well, then, if you don't mind...
If it was, I'd know where, I betcha.
Huh? Look, sis, now, I'm very busy today, so why don't you just tuck your little skull between your sinuses and hit the grit?
Okay, mister. But I thought maybe you'd help me with my arithmetic a little bit.
Why don't you ask your father?
I did, mister. My daddy says after what he went through on March 15th, he didn't want to see any figures for the rest of the year. Including Paulette Goddard, Rita Hayworth, and Veronica Puddle.
That's Veronica Lake.
Well, my daddy knew her when she was little.
Oh. What problem you stuck on?
I'm not stuck on any of them, I bet. I hate them all.
Well, so do I. So now you better run along before Mrs.
Have you got time to guess a poodle, mister?
A poodle? What's a poodle?
Well, it's a riddle you can't get through your noodle.
Oh. Now, what is it? What is it?
Why does President Roosevelt smoke cigarettes in a long black holder? Why does he?
I give up.
Because a cigarette is a smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire, and where there's a fire, there's LaGuardia, and LaGuardia is a mayor, and a mayor is a horse, and a horse eats grass, and grass is green, and green is for Irishman, and an Irishman is Pat, and a Pat talks to a mic, and so is President Roosevelt.
Yeah, but why does he smoke cigarettes in a long black holder?
To keep the smoke out of his eyes, silly. So long,
he?
Get a load of Jimmy, laughing his head off.
They probably got him so nervous he's hysterical. Can we see you a minute, Mr. Sale?
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. Professor. Look at him. Just look at him. I am, Jimmy, but what's the joke?
Oh, spending all their precious coupons to load up on jumping station ropes. Not but half of them never ate meat twice a week in their lives.
That's so funny.
It's funny to me. I'm a vegetarian.
Well, look, Jimmy. If you can control yourself a minute, we want some information. We're trying to buy a washing machine.
I'm not the washing machine business, McGee, I'm sorry to say.
No, but look. You know, there's an ad in the paper, Jimmy, about a woman who wants to sell one, and the telephone operator told us you knew her. It's Mrs. J. Benchley Moe.
Yeah, where does she live, Jimmy? Where does she live?
Hello, McGee. She doesn't trade with me anymore. She gave a dinner for the British ambassador once, and I wouldn't put silk knee breeches on the lamb chop.
Yeah, but you must know where she lives.
No, she never had a charge account.
Well, the delivery boy must know.
Oh, he probably does, McGee.
Well, let's ask him. Where is he?
In Guadalcanal, I believe, Mrs. McGee.
Come on.
But I can give you a clue. Mrs. J. Benchley Muggs is a good friend of Mrs. Uppington's.
Well, still, fellas. Much obliged, Jimmy. Come on, Molly.
It would be just our luck not to find Abigail at home.
She's so snobby, she probably won't admit knowing anybody who owns a washing machine.
Now, listen, Abigail isn't so bad, McGee.
Oh, no? That old dame is so high-toned, she snores like a flute. I mind one time that...
Yes?
Yes, what?
Whom did you wish to see?
Look, Snarkins, or whatever your name is. Pigeon-toe your little way into the drawing room and tell old lady Uppington to draw herself out to the front door. We want to see her.
Thank you, sir. And whom shall I know?
Why don't you try announcing Lum and Abner? That'd be quite a contrast for you.
Thank you. I shall inform Mrs. Uppington that Mrs. Lum and Edna wish to see her.
We ought to study with Dale Carnegie about how to win friends and keep from getting beat up on a dark night.
Butlers like him are born, Molly. That codfish expression is hereditary. I'll bet if you...
Oh, hello there, Abigail.
Well, how do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Effie.
Oh, what a surprise this is. Remington told me that Dick and Sade or Amos and Andy or someone wished to see me.
No, Lum and Abner, Abigail.
Oh.
And look, we're on the trail of a washing machine. Now, do you know a woman named Mrs. J. Benchley Moe?
Oh, dear. I know Mrs. J. Benchley Moe like my own sister.
Oh, gee, you do? Well, who is she?
She is my sister.
Well, where does she live, Uppy? We got to contact her right away. She had an ad in the paper to sell a washing machine.
My goodness. She didn't tell me she was back in town. She usually winters in Hot Springs, you know.
Oh, no, we didn't know. Where does she usually spring?
Yeah. Let us know where she's going to fall, too. We'll throw a pillar down for her. No kidding, Uppy. Where does she live?
Really, Miss McGee, I haven't the faintest idea. She takes a new apartment every time she comes back to town, and I haven't heard from her yet. Isn't the address in the advertisement?
No, just a phone number, and it's disconnected. She probably had so many phone calls, she shut it off. Heavenly days, we've just got to get that washing machine, Abigail.
Oh, I have an idea, my dear. Her chauffeur lives at 916 Oak Street. He or his wife will know where she is.
Oh, your sister look like you, Uppy?
Yes, she's my type, I should say. Serious and robust.
Oh, we have one of their catalogs. I'd know her in a minute. Come on, McGee, let's go.
Yes.
How do you do? We're looking for a washing machine, and we were told that Mrs. J. Benchley Moe's chauffeur would...
You're looking for a what?
A washing machine. Washing machine. One of them things that stands in the basement and washes your clothes.
Sure, it wrings them out, too.
Yes, and irons them. We want to buy it.
You want to what?
Buy it. Buy it. Is it for sale?
For sale. Sir, you're speaking of the woman I love.
Well, now where, McGee?
Hey, I got an idea. Wilcox.
What about him?
He knows every woman in town from Selden Johnson's Gloco. He'll know how to find Mrs. J. Benchley Moe.
Good day.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Oh, how do you like that? What could he do for us? Look, Junior.
I'm afraid you have the advantage of me, sir. Have we met?
Have you met? Why, you've been bumping noses every week for 8 years. What goes on here?
Who is it, Paul, and what do they want?
Who's that?
That's my brother, Harlow.
Well, then, who are you?
I'm Paul Wilcox.
Well, I'll be... Are you guys twins?
Well, yes, but we're not identical twins. Harlow likes nutmeg in his malted milk, and I like cinnamon.
Well, that must be a lot of trouble going to the drugstore to find out who is who, huh?
Who is it, Paul? Who is it?
Mr. and Mrs. Fibber McGee, Paul.
It's Mr. and Mrs. McGee, Harlow. What do they want? What was it you wanted?
Can little Harlow come out for a minute?
No, he's taking a shower. Anything I can do for you? Won't you come in?
No, thank you, Paul. We're trying to find a Mrs. J. Benchley Mock. She advertised a washing machine for sale, and,
Hey, Harlow, they're trying to find a Mrs. Mock. Oh, she's the one I told you about, Paul. Tell Fibber and Molly. Who? Fibber and Molly. Fibber and Molly, that's Mr. and Mrs. McGee. Oh, yes, Harlow was telling me. Yes, Harlow was telling me about a Mrs. Mock this morning. It seems that she had just been in her new place a very few days, and the linoleum was in pretty bad shape. And Harlow was telling her how Johnson's self-polishing glow coat would make it look practically new again, and bring out the original colors and how it would look.
Yes. We know about glow coat, Paul.
These guys are certainly twins, all right. They only got one subject of conversation between them. But where does Mrs. Mouse live?
Well, I'll ask Harlow in just a minute. But I wanted to tell you how happy Mrs. Mox was with Johnson's glow coat. Harlow said that when she discovered that you could just pour out a few drops, spread it around, let it dry in 20 minutes or less to a beautiful, protective, dust and damp-proof finish, Harlow said she was just ecstatic.
Look, Paul, never mind what Harlow said. Where does Mrs. Moats live? We've got to see her.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's somewhere in this neighborhood. I'll ask Harlow. Say, Harlow. Yes, Paul. Where does Mrs. Moats live? Search me, Paul.
That won't take long if he's in the shower. Why don't he come out here? Hey, Harlow!
What are you... Oh, wrong. I lost Paul here someplace. What do you want, pal?
What do you mean you don't know where Mrs. Moats lives, Harlow? Paul said you were telling her all about glow coat.
I was. You called me on the telephone.
Oh, my God. We'll have to canvass the neighborhood. Well, thanks anyway, Harlow. Paul.
Don't mention it, folks. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Paul.
So long, Harlow.
Goodbye. Yes.
Does Mrs. J. Benchley Moats live here?
Yes.
Hot dog at last. Has she got a washing machine for sale, Bud?
Yes.
Is it in good condition?
Yes.
Well, will she take $10 for it?
Yes.
What? She will?
Yes.
What make washing machine is it, Bud?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Now, look, Bud. This must be Mrs. Moat. Look, Mrs. Moat.
I am not Mrs. Moats. I am Mrs. Patowski, and don't pay any attention to what my husband says. He's just learning English, and all he can say is yes. Come, Stanislaus.
Yes.
Well, hello there, kids. Come on in.
No, thank you, Mr. Oldtimer. We didn't even know you lived here.
We're looking for a Mrs. J. Benchley Moat.
Mrs. J. Benchley Moaks, eh? Tall, heavy-set gal with gray hair, drinks gin all day, belongs to the Book of the Month Club.
Is that her?
No, that's my sweetheart, Bessie. Is this Moaks woman anything like her?
We don't know. We never met her, old-timer. All we know is she lives somewhere in this neighborhood.
Yes, I don't know her. Sorry, kid.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Oldtimer. Say, are you and Bessie married now?
Not yet, daughter. Bessie ain't back yet.
Bessie isn't back from where?
Africa.
What on earth is Bessie doing in Africa?
Matter of fact, daughter, we ain't sure it is Africa. Might be Alaska, Iceland, Solomon Islands, or Texas.
Well, wherever she is, how'd she get there?
Well, what's she doing wherever she is?
I'll be kicking her heels and hollering her head off, daughter.
What?
You see, she was working on an airplane out of the factory, and she must have welded herself into a wing. Nobody missed her for 3 days. We don't know where she is now. Well,
The King's Men sing, I'm an old Callahan.
Step beside you, ornery tender feet, while to sings my song. I'm an old Callahan from the Rio Grande, but my legs ain't bowed and my cheeks ain't tanned. I'm a cowboy who never saw a plow, never roped a steer, never milked a cow, and I sure ain't fixing to start in now. Yippee-I-O-Ki-yay, yippee-I-O-Ki-yay. I punch cattle when they're fried in the pan. I can hardly tell beef from pork, except on Tuesday. The only leather I ever pulled was in the subway in New York. Oh, get along, little doggy, get along, old Callahan. Rio Grande, learn to ride, or I learn to stand. I'm a character tougher than an Arkansas mule, never missed on the draw, never lost a ewe, and the horse I ride is a drugstore stew. Yippee-ki-yay. I'm an old Callahan from the Rio Grande, and I love the plain and the desert sand. I know the songs that the cowboys know, but the big corral where the doggies go. 'Cause I learned them all on the radio. Yippee-I-O-Ki-yay, 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 yip-yip-yip-ki-yay.
Well, only 2 houses to go, Molly. Only 2 more in the block. The search is narrowing down.
Yeah, so are my hips. Which is the only good thing I can say for this expedition. Let's let it go, McGee.
No, sir, I'm going to get that washing machine. I ain't going to let my own wife slave away over a scrubbing board. Besides, we haven't got a scrubbing board.
Oh, that's a very sweet
Hey,
girl.
look, here comes the mail girl, the baguette. She ought to know where everybody lives around here. Hey, sis.
Hello, Mr. McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Hello, dear. Say, will you do us a favor? We're trying to find a Mrs. Moak.
Mrs. J. Benchley Moak?
That's the one, sis. That's the one.
I remember the name because she gets such a lot of mail.
Well, tell us quick where she
Yeah.
lives.
Well, I really don't know, Mrs. McGee.
Why, doggone it, sis. How can you deliver her mail if you don't know where she lives?
I don't deliver it. She picks it up at general delivery. Well, nice to see you. Good day.
Oh, dear, I'm beginning to feel like a 90-year-old quiz kid, McGee. Let's stop asking people questions and go on home.
No, we're too close to the end of the chase now. Only 2 houses to go. Let's try this one first.
Why, I know who lives here.
Who?
Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee. Won't you come in?
No, thanks, Wimp. We got to keep going. Look, do you know where a Mrs. Maltz lives?
Mrs. J. Benchley Moak.
Why, of course I do, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, fine.
Minnie Maltz is in one of Sweetie Face's physical torture classes.
You mean physical culture, Wimp?
I know what I mean, My goodness. You should see all those women in their sweaters and bloomers lined up doing their exercises.
Mm-hmm.
I took a candid camera picture of them once through a window.
Say, I'd like to see a print of that sometime, Mr. Wimple.
Oh, I haven't got the negative anymore, Mrs. McGee.
Oh.
The ladies chipped in and bought it from me for $200. Isn't photography fascinating?
Wimp. Why, that's blackmail.
Yes.
Say, is your wife home now, Mr. Wimple?
Yes, Mrs. McGee, but I don't think you can see her now. She's under the piano.
Under the piano?
Yes. She picked it up to throw at me this morning, and her foot slipped, and she fell down, and the piano fell on top of it.
Heavenly days, Mr. Wimple. Why don't you do something about it?
Oh, I'm going to, Mrs. McGee. Just as soon as I finish working on my stamp collection. But you wanted to know where Mrs. Monks lived, didn't you?
Yes, we did, Wimp. She's advertising a washing machine for sale, and we want it. Does she live near here?
Oh, indeed she does.
Oh, where, Mr. Wimple?
Right here. She rents our front room upstairs.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll call her. Oh, Mrs. Monks, somebody to see you.
Mrs. Mouse?
Mrs. Monks, This is Mrs. Fibber McGee. Mrs. McGee, this is Mrs. Mouse. Mrs. Mouse, this is Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee, this is Mrs. Mouse. Have I left anybody out?
How do you do? How do you do, I'm sure.
Now, look, Moki. We want to buy your washing machine.
My what? Your washing machine that you advertise in the paper. Show the paper, dearie.
Here's your ad right here. You say you got to sell it before April 1st. Are we in time?
Well, no, Mr. McGee. You're just a little late. If you look at the date on that paper, it's March 28th, 1941.
When you put a beautiful piece of linoleum down on your kitchen or bathroom floor, what do you say to yourself? I wish it would always look this nice, or maybe I hope it wears forever? Chances are that's what you think, even if you don't say it. Now, suppose you already know all about how Johnson's self-polishing glow coat protects linoleum. Then what would you say? Probably something like this. I know this linoleum will always look nice and will wear practically forever because I'm going to protect it regularly with Johnson's glow coat. You might add, if you wanted to, because glow coat makes linoleum last 6 to 10 times longer. Keeps the colors bright and fresh, besides saving the hours of work. No, you wouldn't be exaggerating things a bit. Johnson's self-polishing glow coat does all these things and more. It needs no rubbing or buffing. That's why it's called self-polishing.
Hey, Molly.
Yes?
Isn't bluing supposed to make clothes white?
Yeah.
Well, then you've got the wrong kind. I've used 3 bottles, and these sheets are getting darker all the time.
3 bottles. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, darling.
The characters of the old-timer and Wallace Whipple heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilson, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for home and industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has come to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the Kingsmen and Billy Mills Orchestra. They say that in the spring a young man's fancy. But while this is spring, the squire of 79 Wistful Vista is not as young as he was and consequently doesn't feel so fancy. In fact, he feels awful. So hold your diagnosis for the next half hour and get a load of Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, what's the matter with you today? You've been grumping around here like a centipede with bunions.
I just don't feel good. I think I'm coming down with something.
Yes, and I know what you're coming down with, too.
You do?
Yes, you're coming down with the rug out of the upstairs hall and beat it out in the backyard.
No, I'm not. I'm too sick for that stuff. No kidding. I got no pep today. I'm not good for anything.
Ah, go on. You've just got an acute attack of honesty, dearie.
Huh?
What are your symptoms, if any?
I'll give them to you alphabetically. A, I'm all wore out. B, I'm pushed. C, I got chills. D, I'm dead. E, I got no energy. And F, I need a physician.
Have you got a headache?
No, I haven't. The worst thing I got is no pep. Got no energy.
I just want to sit down and rest all the time. What's the matter with me, anyway?
Oh, I think it's just temporary. You've only felt that way for 25 years. It'll go away.
I think I ought to have a doctor.
Nonsense. Go out and take a walk or take a nap in the porch swing or maybe mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn, she says. You trying to kill me? Anyway, I ain't got enough energy to do any work. No sleep, for one thing. Uncle Dennis woke me up last night when he come home from that bakery at 4 a.m.
How do you know he was at the bakery?
He was pie-eyed again.
Now listen, don't pick on Uncle Dennis. He had a great sorrow once in 1924, and he can't forget it.
You mean the time his wife ran away with the sewing machine salesman?
Yeah.
I thought she came back.
That's his sorrow.
I got my own troubles. My legs are so much like rubber, I feel unpatriotic every time I take an extra step. Look, Molly, call Dr. Gamble for me.
No, I won't, McGee. Doctors are too busy these days to make unnecessary calls.
It don't have to be a business call. Ask him over for dinner. We're having chicken anyway.
Fibber McGee, if you think I'm going to ask Dr. Gamble over for dinner just so you can wheedle a little free medical advice out of him, what's his number?
Give me the phone. I'll call him myself.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Dr. Gamble in the medical and loans on your signature alone building. I think the number is 8654. Goodness sakes, is that you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Is, eh? What's say, Mert? Your mother. She beat the rap, eh?
Heavenly days, McGee. What happened?
Her mother bought an evening wrap and had to hurry home before it was delivered. What's say, Mert? Well, I'll call him later. Thanks, Mert. Doctor's out, I guess.
Good. Now, why don't you go out and lie in the porch swing until dinner time? Just take a good rest for yourself, dear.
Oh, I tried that. Those doggone robins make so much noise I couldn't sleep a wink. I'm just a bundle of nerves, I guess. You suppose I got what...
Come in. Well, Abigail Luffington. Hello, darling.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, Abby. Don't get too close to me. I think I'm coming down with some topical disease.
You mean tropical, dear?
Yes, topical means talked about.
Well, then he's right, Abigail. He's talking about nothing else.
Okay. Scoff if you want to. You're right. But when I'm laying there in bed with specialists from all over the world conferring in whispers outside my door, don't think you can square yourself with me by bringing over a jelly jar made homie. I mean a home gel made jar. A jet. You know what I mean.
He does seem a bit upset, my dear. What do you suppose is the matter with him?
Oh, just spring, I think, Abigail. Everybody gets it. I went around all day yesterday with a dull headache.
Oh, where did you and Mr. McGee go?
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Let me tell you my symptoms, Uppy. I got no pep. I got no energy. I want to sleep all the time. Can't hardly keep my eyes open. No ambition. All the time drowsy. My shoes keep falling off.
They're not laced up.
Oh. Then, too, my eyes keep watering.
I told you not to smoke those cigars so short.
What do you think it is, Uppy? Malaria?
Oh, no, Mr. McGee. I don't think so. I think you will always be immune to malaria.
Why, really, Abigail?
Malaria is carried by mosquitoes, my dear. And Mr. McGee is too thick-skinned to tempt a mosquito.
Gee, thanks, Uppy. You're not just saying that because you admire me.
No, Mr. McGee. But I think I know exactly the treatment for you.
Well, what should he do, Abigail? Take sulfur and molasses?
No, but when he gets up in the morning, he should take 20 aspirin tablets.
My gosh, 20 aspirin tablets. How do I take them?
Take them out in the backyard, throw them one by one over the roof, and then run around the house and try to catch them.
Oh, you think the exercise will do him good?
My dear, he'll be a different man. And what a civic improvement that will be. Well, goodbye.
Hey, Molly.
Yes, McGee?
Well, try and get Doc Gamble again, will you? I feel orphaned.
Oh, all right. What's his number?
8654. I'd call him myself, but I haven't got the strength to hold a receiver.
I know. You've worn yourself to a frazzle holding up that Christmas number of Esquire all afternoon.
Well, there's some very interesting stories in it. They say.
Quiet a minute. Hello, operator. Give me Wistful Vista 8654. What? Oh, how do you do, Myrtle?
Ask her how's every little thing there.
How's every little thing, Myrtle? It is? What's that, Myrtle? Your cousin Myra. Had the hiccups for 7 weeks.
My gosh, why didn't they do something about it?
Well, they didn't know she had them. She's a riveter. Yes. Yes. What, Myrtle? Oh, thank you. She's ringing Dr. Gamble's office now, McGee.
Tell him we're having fried chicken.
The poor lad, I guess he could use a good home cook. Hello? Is Dr. Gamble there? Well, this is Mrs. McGee. Will you tell Doctor that we want him for dinner tonight?
Yeah, he'll look good on a platter with an apple in his mouth.
Yes. You tell him to get here whenever it's convenient. Yes, he knows where it is. Thank you. Well, his office nurse said she thought he'd love it, McGee.
Why, sure he'll love it, particularly fried chicken. Doctors get so they think the only bird in the world is a stork. Gee, I wish I had some pep. I feel like I've been drugged through a knothole. I never thought I'd ever feel. Wonder if that's a doctor already. Come in.
Say, he couldn't hear that if he had his stethoscope at the keyhole. Come in.
Hello there, kid.
Oh, hello, Mr. Oldtimer.
Understand from Mrs. Uppington that Johnny here's got the pip, daughter. That's why I come over.
Oh, I think it's just a touch of spring, Mr. Oldtimer. He just has a feeling of lassitude.
Yeah, and my longitude ain't so hot either.
Well, I just thought I'd drop over and give you Grandma's recipe for a spring fever, kid.
Doggone it, I haven't got spring. I don't think that's it, Oldtimer. I'm just sick. I got no pep. I got no energy.
What is your grandmother's recipe, Mr. Oldtimer?
Well, sir, daughter, it's been in our family for generations. Handed down from mother to daughter, daughter to daughter, daughter to son, son to uncle, uncle to sister, sister to brother, brother to cousin, cousin to aunt, aunt to nephew, and nephew gave it back to Grandma, who was so sick of hearing about the darn thing she tore it up.
Well, I don't want any of your corny old homemade remedies anyway.
Put you back on your feet again, Johnny.
I don't want to get back on my feet.
No, that looks bad, daughter.
What does?
Well, it's kind of a case when the patient don't want to be helped. And he just lets himself go to pot, which I can see that Johnny's doing even with that double-breasted coat on. Why, Johnny, you've got no cause to give up. You're young. Why, I'm twice your age.
Twice my age? You're 9 times my age. Is it true that Captain John Smith beat your time with Pocahontas?
That's a nasty falsehood, Johnny. Just because a feller gives a gal some chewing tobacco now and then don't mean he's serious. Them Indians talk too much. What I was going to say is I'm twice your age. I'm in better shape than you are.
Well, neither one of you has any shape to brag about.
I can still jump up in the air and crack my heels together 3 times. Look at it.
Oh, heavenly days, what a fall. Are you all right, Mr. Oldtimer?
Yes, I guess so, daughter. And Johnny, you keep lying down and take it easy, Johnny. We ain't as young as we were, you know. So long, kid.
Gosh, I'm tired.
Yes, I know, dearie. I've heard you mention it. And I'll have to admit you don't look sick, though.
I don't really?
No, you don't. You merely look like a fella. Oh, heavenly days, there's a doctor now, me in a house dress. You entertain him, dearie, while I put my face on.
Okay. There's a good kid. Pretty worried about me, too. Kidding me to keep up her spirits. Come in, doctor.
Hi, mister.
Oh, for the... So it's you, is it, sis?
Sure it is, I betcha. Who'd you think?
I was expecting the doctor.
Oh, who's sick, mister?
I am.
Oh, yeah?
Look, sis, if I wasn't a sick man, I'd leap up off of this Davenport and give you a burst of applause with one hand. I'm in no mood to fiddle the faddle with you today.
Gee, mister, don't you like little children?
Yes, I like little children. But there's a time and a place for everything. And it's time you got out of this place.
Okay, mister. But, gee, I was awful lonesome on account of Willie Troops has got the mumps, and I thought maybe you'd tell me a story or something.
Okay. Cut it out. You know I can't stand to see a woman weep. If I tell you a story, will you paddle your little pumps out of here?
Sure I will, I betcha. Cross my heart and kiss the milkman.
What does that mean? Cross your heart and kiss the milkman.
I don't know, mister. My mama's been saying that ever since we ran out of butter a couple weeks ago.
Well, now, let me see. Oh, look, sis. Did I ever tell you how the tiger got his stripes?
No, mister.
Well, it's a very, very snappy hunk of folklore, sis. Once upon a time, thousands of years ago, in India, there was a tiger named Joe. A very, very smart tiger, too.
A Princeton tiger, huh?
Well, sir, one day as Joe was walking through the jungle looking for his mate...
And potatoes.
No, not mate and potatoes. Just his mate, Lady Tiger. As Joe was walking along, he passed the village and saw a barber standing outside of a barber shop. A nice, fat barber. So Joe says to himself, he says, breakfast. So he sneaks along on his stomach. All of a sudden, he leaps at the barber. But the barber sees him just in time, and he ducks behind the barber pole. And Joe was going too fast to stop, and go. He swallowed the barber pole by mistake. And ever since then, all tigers have wore stripes. They all wear stripes now to remind them not to act so hasty. Wasn't that a good story?
No.
Huh?
In the first place, mister, everybody knows that by natural mutation, the tiger developed stripes for protected coloration to blend imperceptibly with the surroundings of their natural habitat. So don't give me that barber pole malarkey. No. As a frank buck, you're spent. So long, mister.
Hey, Molly, Doc Gamble is here. Open the door, will you? I'm too weak to get up.
All right, McGee, you just lie still and be good to your arteries. Well, hello, Dr. Gamble. I'm so glad you could come.
Good evening, Mrs. McGee. Mighty nice of you to invite me. Gave me an excuse to avoid a lecture tonight on the evolution of bone structure in the lesser mammals by a man I went to medical school with. All he knows about bones, your fox terrier could bury in a flower pot. You're looking very well, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. I'm fine. You know, I haven't had a cold since you painted my throat 2 months ago.
Oh, I'm a wonderful throat painter. In the medical world, I'm known as the Rembrandt of the epiglottis.
Hi, Doc.
Well, I didn't see you there, McGee. You're looking very well, too, my boy.
I am?
He is?
Yes, indeed, a picture of health. And I'm glad to see you relaxing there in the Davenport, McGee. Keep that up and you'll live to be 120. You can't burn the candle at both ends without making a double drip of yourself.
Doctor.
Is there much sickness around now, Doc? Like malaria and stuff?
Oh, nothing extraordinary, McGee. Well, where's this fried chicken, Mrs.
I'll
McGee?
go out and see how it's coming along, Doctor. McGee, you entertain Dr. Gamble. Excuse me a minute.
Well, Doc, I guess you didn't expect to find me in this condition.
No, sir, I certainly didn't, McGee. Healthiest looking man in town. How do you do it? Just learn to take things easy, huh? Well, that's marvelous. Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, Doc, I've been kind of off my feet.
Good for you, good for you. More people die of overeating than traffic accidents anyway. You're very wise, McGee. Been a lot of graves dug with a knife and fork. I always say...
Would you mind answering the door, Doc? I got no pep. I got no energy.
Well, who wants energy? Just wears you out before your time. Besides, no use leaping around answering doorbells when you can holler. Forget your legs and use your lungs. Come in, come in, come in!
Thanks, Doc.
Hello, Mr. McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee. Oh, excuse me.
Hi, Wimp, old man. Wimp, this is Dr. Gamble. Doc, shake hands with Wallace Wimple.
How do you do, Doc?
Delighted, Mr. Wimple. Very interesting contusion you have on your lower maxillary. Wife take a poke at you?
Yes.
McGee, did I hear the doorbell ring? Oh, hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. I won't bother you but just a minute. I only wanted to know if I could borrow your stepladder.
Why, certainly, Mr. Wimple. Get it for him, McGee.
I ain't got the strength, Molly. You can get it, Wimp. It's right on the back porch.
That's the spirit, McGee. Conserve your strength. Hanging some wallpaper, Mr. Simple?
Simple, Doctor.
Oh, excuse me.
I just wanted the ladder on account of Sweetie Face.
Sweetie Face? Your dog?
Sweetie Face is his wife, Doc.
Oh, excuse me.
What about Sweetie Face, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, we got into a little argument this morning, Mrs. McGee, up in the attic. She was practicing some jiu-jitsu holds on me, and my foot slipped out from under my arm and hit her in the nose.
Then what happened, Wimp, if you can bear the memory of it?
Oh, she made a lunge at me, Mr. McGee. Only I dodged, and she went right through the window. She just caught hold of the windowsill in time, or she'd have fallen 3 floors.
Well, how can a frail little man like you haul her back in, Mr. Waffle?
Wimple.
Oh, excuse me.
And I didn't haul her in. She's still hanging there.
Hey, ever since this morning?
Why, how could she hang on that long, Wimp?
Oh, I fixed that, Mr. McGee. I slammed the window down and pinned her hands to the windowsill.
That's very interesting. Gonna use the ladder to get her down, huh?
No, I'm going to climb up on the roof and pull the ladder up after me. Sooner or later, Sweetie Face is going to work loose, and then, oh my. Thank you, Mr. Good night, folks.
Brutal little family, isn't it? Well, is that fried chicken nearly ready, Mrs. McGee?
In just a few minutes, Doctor. I just took the biscuits out of the oven. Better go comb your hair, McGee.
Oh, I don't want any dinner, Molly. I got no pep. I got no energy. Maybe you can bring me some stuff on a tray.
Oh, no, I'll do no such a thing, McGee. Come on, get up.
Oh, don't talk like that, my dear. He's very intelligent. He's relaxing.
No, I'm not, Doc.
You're not?
Now, McGee, you...
Well, Doc's interested, aren't you, Doc?
In what?
My case. You see, Doc, I got no pep. I got no energy. Ever since I got up this morning, I've been feeling dopey.
McGee, you're wonderful.
Huh?
You've just diagnosed your own case better than a staff of specialists.
You mean I'm just naturally a doctor?
No, I mean you're just naturally dopey. Well, is that chicken...
April being the month of showers, it's also the month when wet feet come packing across that kitchen floor of yours. The question is, have you protected the linoleum against that dirt and moisture with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat? If you have, then you can relax when those soggy shoes and wet, muddy rubbers come tramping in. The linoleum is safe, and it won't be much work to make your floor spotless again. Soil spots are quickly wiped up with a damp cloth. Johnson's glow coat is the easy-to-use floor polish, needs no rubbing or buffing. And in times like these, it renders extra assistance because self-polishing glow coat makes linoleum last 6 to 10 times longer than an unprotected surface.
Well, do you feel any better since you had your dinner, McGee?
No, I can't say I do. I should have stayed lying down on the davenport.
I thought that's where you were. What were you doing?
I've been upstairs. I was reading in What to Do Till the Doctor Comes about my case, but it didn't work.
What didn't work?
Well, it says to take a hot foot bath, but every time I stepped in the tub, the match went out.
Oh, dear.
That's what I say. Good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of the old-timer and Wallace Wimple heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Presenting Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn with music by the Kingsmen and Billy Mills Orchestra. I bet you if you had an uncle who was a historical character, and he was going to be glorified on a radio program in exactly 11 and a half minutes, I bet you you'd be pretty excited, too. And that's why there's so much to do and hey and oh boy and whatnot around 79 Wistful Vista tonight as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
What time is it, Molly? What time?
Oh, we have 10 minutes yet, McGee. Sit down, calm yourself. Heavenly days, it's only a radio program.
Yeah, but gee whiz. It's going to be all about Uncle Sycamore, who fought in the Indian Wars and got scalped and was a hero, and knew Kit Carson and Buffalo Bill as well as I know you. Better.
How could he know them better?
Well, you're still a mystery to me. What time is it now? What
Well,
time?
it's still 9 minutes before the program, and stop biting your nails.
Well, gee whiz.
Hadn't you better turn on the radio and let it warm up?
I don't dare. I worked all day getting it fixed again, and I don't want to turn it on before I have to. What time is it now?
Oh,
What time?
calm yourself.
Huh?
Calm yourself. You're as jumpy as a 1912 movie. What did your Uncle Sycamore ever do that he was such a hero?
What do you mean, what did he do?
Why, he was one of the greatest characters ever knew in the Wild West. I ever tell you about the time he won 14 buffalo hides, a barrel of cornmeal, and a mule from Kitty Carson in a wrestling match?
You mean Kit Carson?
This was Kitty Carson, Kit's sister. My Uncle Fitz. Hey, what time is it, Molly?
We have 7 minutes yet before the program.
Oh, easy.
Incidentally, McGee, where is your Uncle Sycamore now?
Last I heard of him, he was trying to get into the Marines.
The Marines?
Yeah.
Why, your uncle must be 90 years old by now.
Yeah, that's why he picked the Marines. He read someplace they were the oldest branch of the service. Hey, I guess I can turn on the radio now.
Yes, go ahead. Anything to keep it from hopping around like a cricket on a hot sidewalk.
Okay.
And I hope this radio will work.
Huh?
We can't use the car radio in emergencies anymore, you know.
Why not?
No car.
Oh. Let's see now. Station WVJK. That's 567 on the dial.
Well, it was before you fixed it. Heaven only knows where it is now.
Well,
Don't you know it's illegal to change the wavelength of a station without the government's permission?
it is? Oh, my gosh. Don't tell anybody then. I don't want to. Hey, it's almost time for the program. Listen. There. I think that new tube I put in is going to work well.
I didn't know you could buy new radio tubes.
I took one out of the sunlight. It was just...
This is station WBJK, the happy station.
Gee whiz.
Presenting the winning of Wyoming, or the half-pint man in the 10-gallon hat. Featuring that...
Now what's the matter?
Oh, my gosh. Hey, get your hand off the floor lamp, Molly. The radio don't work when anybody's touching any metal in the room.
Oh, dear.
Give me a screwdriver or something. I'll fix it. Must be a wire loop. Give me a hairpin. No, give me a match. Give me anything. I'll give...
Oh, McGee, there's somebody at the door.
Well, tell them we don't want any. Tell them we're not home. Tell them we lost our coupons and starved to death. I gotta get this thing fixed quickly. Now, let me see.
Oh, dear. Come in. Abigail Luffington. Hello, darling.
How do you do, my dear? Miss McGee.
Oh, hi, Effie.
What's on your mind, Abigail, dear?
Well, I read in the History Gazette, my dear, that there was going to be a radio program tonight about Mr. McGee's Uncle Sycamore McGee. I just wanted to tell you to listen.
Well, how could we hear anything anyway with people ringing our doorbell all night long?
What?
I never saw it fail. They tried to hear something special on the radio, and what happened? Everything. That's what happened.
McGee, mind your manners. He's a little excited about his Uncle Sycamore on the radio, Abigail.
Oh, they knew about the program tonight.
Oh, indeed we did. We've been waiting all day to hear it.
Will you two faces pipe down a minute? You got me as nervous as a switch. Just about had this thing working.
All right, McGee. Look, Abigail, won't you sit down here and listen to the program with us?
Oh, no, thanks, my dear. It's a Wild West sort of thing, I believe, and I simply can't stand all the shooting. My first husband was shot, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes, practically all the time.
What's the matter?
Well, Abigail was just saying that she couldn't listen with us, dearie. Shooting makes her too nervous.
Oh, it does, eh? Oh, well, Hey, I got it. At least listen.
And as the dying rays of the sun paved the trail with gold, these hardy pioneers looked about for a place to make camp for the evening. They had traveled 20 miles from Fort Dodge. And as the peaceful campfire...
Oh, wait a minute. I can't stand it. Let me out of here, man.
Oh, my gosh, there goes the radio again. Up, he slammed the door too hard. Give me another hairpin, quick.
All right. McGee, where did you get that horse pistol?
In the desk drawer. I had to get that old horse out of here some way, didn't I? I was just shooting blanks anyway. Hey, Molly, I almost got the radio fixed again. How much of the program have we lost?
Only 3 or 4 minutes, McGee.
Huh?
But even that is disheartening.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I wish the radio had never been invented.
Huh?
And then when I think how we both like to eat regularly, I'm glad it was.
Sure changed people's way of living. Was a time when everybody used to gather around the piano and sing the old songs. Now they gather around the radio and sneer at the new ones. Here we are.
On and on into the beckoning west rumbled the covered wagon. On and on into the promised land of golden grain and grains of gold marched the hardy Argonaut.
What's an Argonaut?
Search me, lady. I just read what they give me. Suddenly, the wagon train is halted. Indians. A shot is heard. In the distance and rising like the very wind over a nearby hill comes the intrepid scout and Indian fighter, Sycamore McGee.
Rat the stag. Quick, Molly. Give me a stick of chewing gum. Give me another hairpin. Quick.
Dear, fix it quick, McGee. It's just getting exciting.
Well, all it takes is just a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. Come in, come in.
For the love of my...
Hi there, kids. Say, there's a radio program on you ought to be listening to. It's all about a fellow named Sycamore McGee.
Yes, we know, Mr. Oldtimer. We know. We've been listening.
Ain't listening now, daughter. What'd you shut it off for? Oh, honey, we didn't shut it off. The radio is on haywire. Haywire? Oh, haywire.
Hey, be quiet, will you? How can I hear what I'm trying to do?
What's the matter with it, daughter?
Oh, McGee's been tinkering with it all afternoon, Mr. Oldtimer. He thinks he's regular Marconi with cheese. Is Bessie home yet?
Yes, she is, daughter. I got her. You've got Bessie? Why, you little home wrecker?
No. He means he got the radio fixed.
Yeah, listen.
Due to the heroic...
Well, daughter, you got it fixed, Johnny.
Sycamore McGee.
No, you want to hear it on a tiny album with Madden in it?
Quiet, Mr. Oldtimer.
Oh, don't mind me, daughter. I kind of like these Western programs.
On the surrounding
Never
hills.
just let Hey, will you quiet down? We're trying to listen. Go right ahead, Johnny. Go right ahead. Hey, daughter, you were asking me about Bessie. And I started to catch her. Bessie's home now.
Wait, you were.
Oh, okay. I guess I can take a hint without being kicked in the face. If that's the way you feel out there, come on over here and tell me about the radio program.
McGee slammed the door so hard he threw the radio off again.
That doddering old walnut foot. I'd like to tear his head off and throw it in his face. Give me another hairpin, quick.
Here, take them off. I'll run up and put on a shower cap. What happened on the program, McGee? I didn't hear a word of it.
No, me either, but I'll have it fixed again in a jiffy. It's only that it's just fixed.
Oh, for heaven's sake, keep working, dearie. I'll get it. 79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking.
Good evening. This is a radio survey. Is my radio turned on?
I don't know, dearie. Hold the wire. McGee's the radio turned on?
It's turned on all right, but nothing comes out.
Thanks.
Huh?
I said thanks.
For what?
Never mind. All right. Hello, radio survey. Yes, our radio is turned on.
Thank you. Will you please answer these two questions? What is your name and what is your favorite radio program?
My name is Mrs. Fibber McGee.
Thank you. Never mind the other question.
Who was it?
A radio survey.
Hey, the radio. We're missing the program.
Now, listen, don't get so jittery, McGee. We haven't missed but a minute or two.
Hey, I got it again, I think.
And there lay Sycamore McGee with a bullet in his chest.
Heavenly days, they got Uncle Sycamore.
Why, they couldn't have. He had 8 kids after that.
There was sadness around the campfires that night. Sycamore McGee, the great scout and daring leader, was dying.
Oh, God.
The bells in the ancient churchyard of the settlement were softly tolling.
Lousy sound effect. Sounds like our doorbell.
It was our doorbell.
Huh? It is? Oh, hey, the radio is off again. The doorbell must have short-circuited. Oh, shut it.
Short-circuited.
That's what I said.
Oh, dear. Come in.
Hi, mister. Hi, Miss McGee.
Oh, it's you.
Yes. Hey, mister, can I please listen to Win Up In with Uncle Win on your radio? Can I please, Mr. Callahan?
No, you can't, sis. I'm sorry.
Our radio's not working right now, little girl. And anyway, we're trying to hear a program ourselves.
So long, sis. Hey, where's the glue, Molly? Oh, never mind. I got some scotch tape. Go on, sis. Now, don't bother me. I got trouble.
Well, gee, mister, I gotta listen to Win Up In with Uncle Win on account of I sent him a daddy question, and if he uses it, he's gonna send me an encyclopedia, and if I get one, I'll let you write on it.
Let me write on what?
My encyclopedia when I get it.
Look, little girl, an encyclopedia is a book.
Yeah, you're thinking of a velocitude.
Velocipede, McGee.
Go on. Velocipede is a bug with 100 legs.
No, that's a centipede, I bet you.
Centipede, my classical. Centipede means temperature. Fahrenheit and centipede.
No, dearie, that's centigrade.
Well, then what's the velocitude?
Yeah, I know, mister.
Well, what do you want to win something if you don't even know what it is? That's ridiculous. Now, beat it, sis. We're trying to hear a program.
We're not bothering you, McGee. Go ahead and fix the radio. What was the question you sent in, little girl?
Well, it was a poodle, Miss McGee.
A what?
A poodle. You know, that's the riddle you can't get through your noodle.
Oh.
It was, why was John with the wind so popular?
Well, all right. Well, why was it? Tell us some Scranton.
Because Gone with the Wind was Southern, and Southern is a movie actress, and actresses make up. And you can't make up unless you're mad at somebody, and somebody's anybody, and that includes you. And you're the letter, and a letter needs a stamp, and a stamp is red, and so is the Red Cross. And the Red Cross has a lot of ladies, and the ladies are all knitting napkins, and boy, that's some yarn, and so is Gone with the Wind.
The King's men sing, would you rather be a colonel with an eagle on your shoulder than a private with a chicken on your knee?
I overheard a father ask his soldier son, now why don't you advance as other boys have done? You've been a private too long, now tell me what's wrong. Said the soldier with a twinkle in his eye, here's the reason why. I'd rather be a private than a colonel in the army. A private has more fun when all his daily work is done. And when he goes on hike, in every town he strikes, girls discover him and they smother him with dainty light. But girlies act so shy when colonel passes by. He holds his head so high with dignity. So would you rather be a colonel with an eagle on your shoulder than a private with a chicken on your knee? Well, colonels and majors and captains are fine with eagles and medals and buttons that shine. Corporals and sergeants and lieutenants too, all giving orders for privates to do. I ask you what's good with the colonels and majors to carry out the orders that will win the victory. So would you rather be a colonel with an eagle on your shoulder than a private with a chicken on your knee? That's it. There's nothing on his sleeve except a girl when he won't leave. And when he goes on hiking, in every town he strikes, the girls discover me and they smother me with things I like. But girlies act so shy when Colonel passes by. He holds his head so high with dignity. So would you rather be a colonel with an eagle on your shoulder or a private with a chicken on your knee?
Oh, dear, if you don't get that radio fixed again pretty quick, McGee, it won't be any use. The program will be over.
I know. I'm working as fast as I can. Now, let me see. The peanut tube goes on the left of the static illuminator. Here we are now.
Holding into the pedals, Sycamore McGee rode again.
I thought he was dying.
Uncle Sycamore always was an easy bruise with a quick heel.
As the thunder of his hoof died away in the distance, a sinister brown face, beady-eyed and cruel, peered through a thicket at the pioneer children playing poker for arrowheads among the wagons. Then, as a cloud obscured the sun, a faint sound was heard.
Kids aren't playing poker, they're playing knock running.
That was a knock rummy on our door.
Huh?
And the radio's off again.
Oh, this isn't the dog. Why can't people leave us alone? That radio
No
won't
use
fail.
trying to fix it now. Whoever did leaves, McGee. Come in.
Buenas noches, señora. Hello, mister.
Oh, it's Rosita. Hi.
Hello, Rosita. We haven't got much time to talk now, dear. We're trying to catch a program. And I do mean catch. It bounces.
Oh, that is all right, Mrs. McGee. I just want to leave you 2 tickets to the Fiesta, the celebration tomorrow night at the Wistful Vista
Auditorium?
Oh, si, senor. Oh, you took the word right out of my mouth. But it's okay. I was through with it.
What's the celebration for, Rosita?
Tomorrow is Pan American Day, senora. It is to celebrate how North America is good neighbors to South America. And to tell everybody that if we stick together, nobody's going to get stuck. I think if North Americans were knowing South Americans good, and South Americans are knowing North Americans good, there will not be any North or South Americans.
No?
No. There will just be Americans.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? What part of South America are you from, dear?
Who me? Well, I'm from Georgia. You know that.
I didn't mean you. I meant Rosita.
I started out to be a baby in Mexico. But I have traveled all over the country to Latin America. And every place I go, I like it better than someplace else.
Well, that's great. And thanks for the tickets, Rosita. We'll go to the celebration. And you know what?
No, what?
Well, the way you travel around and all, it's nice to know we can look at you and see a real Pan American.
Oh, muchas gracias, senor. And it is nice for me to look at you and see a real American pan. Adios, amigo.
Riding into the purple.
Mr. McGee, the door slammed, knocked the radio on
The
again.
10th moment as Sycamore McGee, the last of the great plainsmen, thundered into the Indian encampment. One lone white man against a horde of hostile savages.
Oh, boy. Watch yourself, Dick.
Be quiet.
Then a piercing sound sliced through the stillness.
You certainly fixed that radio, McGee. Stops every time the doorbell rings or door slams or anybody touches the floor lamp or the wind blows from the east.
Well, it'd be all right if people would leave us alone. Give me another hairpin.
All right, here. Come in. Oh, hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hi, Wimp. Excuse me while I work on this doggone radio.
Oh, I hope you get it fixed, Mr. McGee. There's a program on about your uncle, Sycamore McGee, and I came over because...
Yes, we know, Mr. Wimple. We've been trying to listen to it. Were you listening to it yourself?
Oh, no, Mrs. McGee. I don't like to be near the radio at this time of the evening. The bedtime stories are always on, and Phoebe Face likes to curl up in my lap and listen to them.
Curl up in your lap? I thought you weighed about 180.
185, Mr. McGee. She's still just a little girl at heart.
Ah, is she really?
Yes. You should see, take me by one hand and one foot and use me for a skipping rope.
Mr. Wimple, I think your wife is a pretty cruel woman.
Please, Mrs. McGee, you're speaking of the woman I
love?
That's a pretty strong term, Mr. McGee. Let's say that I admire her, and I really do. She has some wonderful qualities, she says.
You know, one of these days you're going to get fed up with all that mistreatment, Mr. Wimple, and I shudder to think what will happen next.
I got even with it yesterday, Mrs. McGee. I had about all I could stand. So when Phoebe Face was sitting out in the backyard, I sneaked in the house and got my big jackknife.
Oh.
Yes? And I held it behind my back and tippy-toed out in the yard.
Yes?
And I sat down close to Phoebe Face.
Oh, boy.
And won't I do it? I did it 4 games of mummy test.
Ah, dear, I'm glad you didn't...
Hey, be quiet. I got the radio going in. Listen.
And that concludes the saga of the winning of Wyoming.
Oh.
But as a special surprise for our listeners, we have in the studio with us the hero of these great exploits, that hardy old plainsman and Indian fighter himself, Sycamore McGee.
Heavenly days, McGee, they got Uncle Sycamore himself down there.
Why, we're going to ask Uncle Sycamore, as we call him, to say a few words to the radio audience.
I think, Mr. McGee, if you move your floor lamp a little closer to...
No, touch the floor lamp,
One side, Molly. Out of my way, man. I gotta hear this. I think I can fix the switch.
Well, I'm really awfully sorry, folks. I didn't
That's
realize...
all right, Mr. Wimple. You didn't realize what...
Hey, quiet. I got it.
Thank you, Uncle Sycamore McGee.
The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. Makers of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Car New, and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra.
letters have come in recently giving us new items to be mentioned in our department of new and unusual uses for Johnson's wax. One woman writes, I've just finished waxing the brickwork around my living room fireplace. Now it looks so beautiful, and I know it'll be much easier to keep clean. Tell this one to many of your listeners. I will indeed. And I know that any of you who have brick or tile around your fireplace will find this suggestion very helpful. You can use either the paste or liquid Johnson's wax. The job takes only a few minutes, and the benefits last a long time. Here's another item I like. A woman in Illinois says that she always uses a little of the regular Johnson's wax on her electric light switch plates. When these are painted in light colors, you know, they're apt to show dirty fingerprints quickly. The wax protects them and makes cleaning easy and adds just one more touch of beauty to your home. I hope you'll all try these new protective uses for genuine Johnson's wax. They'll help you take better care of your things and save you work. Both very worthwhile today. It's a raw, windy spring day in Wistful Vista. Just the kind of day a man likes to stay indoors with a pipe and a good book. Or, in this case, a nickel cigar and a copy of Flash Gordon comics. The lady of the house is occupied with a dress pattern. As we meet, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Flash up to him and he said,
McGee, I'm so exasperated.
What about?
Oh, this dress pattern. I can't seem to figure it out. It's been so long since I made a dress for myself, I'm all out of practice.
I thought you could buy dresses about as cheap as you could make them.
Well, not quite. Anyway, we said we'd buy war bonds instead of Easter clothes, didn't we? So I had this material, and I bought a pattern for 35 cents.
Let me see it.
See?
This don't look so tough. All you got to do is lay the pattern out on the cloth and cut around it.
Oh, is that all?
Why, certainly. That's a cinch.
Look who's talking.
Huh?
I saw a sock you darned once. You bunched it up around the hole, and you tied the string around it and pounded it down with a hammer.
That was an emergency. This is simply a matter of intelligence. Just a little...
Dear. I suppose you could work out this dress pattern in nothing flat.
Why, certainly. Less than that. And with one eye tied behind me.
All right, go ahead.
Huh?
I said, go ahead. You've got the job.
Oh, hey, now, wait a minute. I merely said I could. After all, a man...
You mean you refuse to do it when you know how and I don't?
No, I'm not refusing. I just said a man...
Oh, then you will. Oh, you darling. I could just kiss you for that because...
Now, wait a minute. I'm no dressmaker. I was just trying to point out...
Oh, I'm so glad I married a man who could do things.
Huh?
Oh, you're so sweet to promise to do this, McGee. Now, you get started while I run up and get the scissors and the pins and everything. I'll be right back.
Hey, wait! Oh. Well, I'll be... This is going to be one of my bad days. Why can't I keep my big, busy, fat, loud mouth shut? I got about as much business cutting out dresses as Doolittle has riding the subway. I can get myself into more... Come in.
Oh, hi there, Johnny. Kind of breezy out, ain't it?
Yeah.
Haven't been pushed around by the wind so hard since I marched in the parade last 4th of July.
There wasn't any wind that day.
There was where I marched, Johnny. Right in front of the tuba player. What you doing?
Well, if you must know, my nosy friend, at this moment I am old Joe Butter. I am Mr. Modiste in person. I'm an unstrung harper from Harper's Bazaar, and when I do this, that ain't V for victory. That's for Vogue.
What you talking about, Johnny? What you sore about?
I'm sore at myself. I stuck my neck out, and when I hauled it back in, I was wearing a horse collar. I get myself into more jams than Cross and Blackwell. You want to buy about 10 shares of stupidity? I just cornered the market.
No. Take it easy, Johnny.
Well, gee whiz.
You better tear up your red stamps. You're eating too much meat.
Look, you see this dress pattern?
Yeah.
I just elected myself to make something out of it. And me that don't know a reef pleat from a stuffed cuff on a freak frock.
You're in a bad spot, Johnny.
I'll say so.
Sorry I can't help you out. Just bull your way through, kid. Maybe you can figure out where the bodice is buried. If Bessie was here...
Gee, how you getting along with it? Oh, hello, Mr. Oldtimer.
Hi there, daughter. Understand Johnny here is going to help you with your new dress.
Yeah.
Well, he's just the kid that can do it.
Oh, pipe down, will you?
Oh, you'll make out all right, Johnny. I knew a kid once, much dumber than you, that used to make all his own neckties. I was one of his pallbearers.
Oh, heavenly days, what happened to him?
Made a novelty necktie out of rawhide, daughter. Went out in the rain with it. Sun come out later, dried the rawhide and strangled him. We seen him getting red in the face and keep pointing to the necktie, but we thought he was blushing and asking our opinion of it. We just stood there smiling and nodding at him till the poor fellow was gone. Well, good luck, Johnny. So long,
Well, let's get at it, McGee. Or rather, let you get at it. Now, here's a paper, pins, and some scissors, and a blue pencil. Will you need anything else?
Yes, a good swift kick in the...
No.
No, I guess not. Now, let's see. First, I better read the instructions. Says to put the ring on fire.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, dearie. Imagine a man being able to do this.
Hey, we got a bias?
A what?
A bias. Part of this has got to be cut on the bias. Oh, never mind. I'll cut it on the floor. More room anyway. Now, let's see. First, I lay out the material.
Yes, and you better pin it to the rug, McGee, so it won't slip.
Yeah, I was just going to. Hand me a thumbtack.
Why don't you use pins?
I always use thumbtacks for this stuff. Holds it flatter.
My goodness, I never would have thought of that.
Oh,
but we
sure.
haven't got any thumbtacks, dearie. Use them all in your war matches.
Well, oh, for the love of Mike. Come in. Doggone it, sis, look what you did. I had this pattern all laid out, and you had to open the door and blow it all over the place. Why don't you go where you're... why don't you be more... What do you want?
Oh, don't be so grouchy, McGee. She can't help it if it's so windy outside. Or inside either, for that matter.
Well, gee whiz. How can a guy concentrate with a 40-mile gale blowing through the joint?
What you doing, mister? What you?
I'm cutting out a dress. And don't go blabbing it all over the neighborhood.
What difference would it make? It's no disgrace to know how to do things.
It's a disgrace to have people think you know how to do certain things better than you do.
Well, maybe I can help you, mister. Now look, if you put some plackets under the arms, the problem won't understand the tag time and give you enough Camadan to put a kick plate in the skirt.
I know that much, sis. I'm no dumbbell. What was it you wanted?
Well, I wanted you to help me build a model airplane. I got all the stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry, sis. I haven't got time today. Come back tomorrow.
Okay, but have you got time for a poodle?
I don't know.
Well, what is it?
Yes, and make it snappy.
Well, why is an elephant afraid of a mouse, huh?
Well, why is he?
Because the elephant has a trunk, and a trunk has 3 trays, and 3 trays beats 2 pears, and pears grow on trees, and trees have bark, and so does a dog, and a dog is man's best friend, and your best friends won't tell you, and neither will I.
Now, don't forget, McGee, allow for a zipper on the skirt.
Don't worry, I got it figured in. I also got a place for another one.
Where?
Right across my big, noisy mouth. Next time I talk myself into a woman's job like this, I'll... Hey, are you sure we haven't got any thumbtacks?
No, we haven't yet.
Well, I'll have to call the drugstore and have Kramer send a couple over. Hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Kramer's drugstore on the corner of Mert. How are you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Says, hey. What's that, Mert? Your grandfather got clipped on the puss.
Oh, good heavens. What happened, McGee?
He got stuck $40 for a Persian cat that was only worth 10. What's that, Mert? Yeah, that's what I thought. Never mind, it wasn't important. Thanks, Mert. Kramer's is busy.
Well, listen, you can use pins. Now, here's the pattern for the front.
Let me see. Hand me a couple of them safety pins there.
Okay. Come here.
Hey, now watch out for the stuff. Don't let it fall.
Hey, what about this? What's the pattern? Up it off. Well, my goodness. Abigail Uppington. Hello, darling.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Effie. Excuse me, but would you be so good as to hand me the back of my skirt?
The what?
He's lost the back of his skirt, Abigail.
Yeah.
Good heavens, the back of his skirt?
When?
And what am I to do with it?
It's in your hat.
In my hat?
Yes, in your hat.
I beg your pardon, Miss McGee. I did not come here to...
Now, Abigail, you don't understand. McGee's laying out a dress pattern for me. And when you opened the door, the pattern for the back of the skirt blew up and landed on your hat.
Oh, I see. Oh, here, Miss McGee.
Thanks. Pretty embarrassing the way a fellow's skirts blow around, isn't it? Now, let me see. A panel under the arm here.
Well, what on earth? Now, I had no idea you were so versatile, Mr. McGee. Where did you ever learn dressmaking?
He never did, Abigail. He said that anybody with brains could make a dress, and since he admits he has brains, I'm letting him do it.
Yeah. And it's a cinch, girls. It's a cinch. In fact, I'm thinking of opening up a tailor shop after the war. Get Fred Nittany from Starved Rock, Illinois to go in with me.
Say, where did you know this Fred Nittany, McGee? I've heard you speak of him so often.
I was in vaudeville with Fred. We done a blackface act together, me and Fred.
McGee's always loved vaudeville, Abigail. Even when he was 3 and 4 years old, he was putting on blackface and playing minstrel shows.
Really?
Yes, sir. I was actor at heart from my second year. I got so obnoxious to my father, he took me out in the woodshed and beat it out of me with a hickory stick. And for years afterward, I was known as the hickory-cured hand. Hey, Uppy.
Yes?
I almost forgot to tell you. You know, I think you got the right spirit.
Why, McGee?
You know, I told you. She worked all day long in her victory garden yesterday. I saw you out there a half a dozen times yesterday. In her old clothes, she was. And that derby hat. And I never saw you looking so healthy and happy, Uppy.
Mr. McGee, I was not in my garden yesterday.
No?
That was my scarecrow. Oh, goodbye.
Look at all those patterns, glued all over the place. Help me get them together, Molly.
All right,
That's
dear.
it.
Now, listen, when you get the dress all cut out, you can slip it on while I see how it looks.
Oh, no, you don't. Not me, baby. I may not be bright, but I'm no dummy. Anyway, you can't fit your dress on me. Wouldn't prove anything. You and I don't throw the same shadow.
Well, my goodness, this would be just
Hello, folks.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, folks, says he in that jolly good fellow way. Why don't you knock before you bust into people's houses, Junior? Look what you did to all these dress patterns. Blew them all over the room.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really am, Molly. I didn't know you were working on a dress.
I'm not. McGee is.
What? He is?
Yes, I am, and I don't want to hear any wise cracks, too, either.
Oh, I wasn't going to crack wise, pal.
Well?
If a fellow likes to make dresses, it's none of my business. Everybody's entitled to a hobby. Why, I know a guy who spends practically all day long polishing his car. Doesn't need it, but he loves to do it because he says he gets such a kick out of using Johnson's Car New. These with which it's applied and wiped off. The double job it does in both cleaning and polishing. Well, he's never gotten over it.
Well, don't look at me. We haven't got a car.
Well, I know that, pal. I was just saying how Johnson's Car New does impress people. They can't get over how it cleans and polishes in one simple, easy application. How it protects and preserves the finish. These days when you can't just run out and trade in your car for a new one.
We haven't got a car.
No. But they know you can trade in that dust and road grime for a nice, dazzling, shiny polish by using Car New.
Say, how did we get on this subject?
Oh, leave it to Junior to throw in that business-like touch.
I'm getting so I can't look at his map without trying to find Racine, Wisconsin on it.
Well, I won't bother you any longer, pal. Look, if you get to where you want to get out with the men folks, come on over to my house and bring your crochet, and we can sit on the porch and rock.
Why is that big? One of these days he's going to irritate me one too many, and I'll clack his clavicle. Crack his clavicle.
Listen, I wouldn't if I were you. You know, Mr. Wilcox is an old polo player.
Yeah.
He's in pretty good condition.
So what's polo? Hockey on a hay burner. Badminton on a burro. Golf at a gallop. Anybody who has the least...
McGee, what's the matter? I yell. Why, you're white as a sheet, to coin a clever phrase. McGee, say something.
Hi. Is there a safety pin on the floor near my feet?
No, I don't see any. Not anywhere near around.
And I swallowed it.
What?
Get a doctor, quick. I swallowed a safety pin.
What makes you think you did?
I had it in my mouth, pinning patterns. When Wilcox... Oh, get the doctor, quick.
Heavenly days, maybe I better lie down on the couch.
No, I don't dare move. It might spring open in me.
Oh, this is terrible. Hello, operator, quick. Give me Dr. J. Ramsey Gamble in the... No, Myrtle, not now. Get me the doctor.
Tell him to bring a small cork. Maybe I can swallow the cork and turn a few somersaults. And get the cork stuck on the end of the pin so I can...
Hello, doctor. Mrs. McGee. My husband swallowed the safety pin. What? No, he wasn't. We haven't got a baby. No. Well, hurry right over, doctor. Thank you. He said lie quietly immediately got here.
What do you think I was going to do? Organize a softball team? Oh, why did I ever say I was smart? Why did I ever get myself into such a joke?
Oh, my goodness, the doctor got here quick. Come in.
Hey, hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Oh, hi, Wimp.
My goodness, what's the matter with Mr. McGee?
Well, he swallowed a safety pin, Mr. Wimple.
He did? Does he like safety pins?
No, I don't like safety pins. I swallowed it inadvertently. Oh.
If there's anything I can do for him, I'm on the way to the drugstore anyway, Mrs. McGee.
No, thank you, Mr. Wimple. The doctor's on his way over. He says he just has one stop and he'll be here.
If it's Dr. Gamble, he's stopping at our house first.
Your wife sick, Wimp?
Sweetie Face? Oh, no, Mr. McGee. She's as strong as a horse. Stronger, even.
Stronger?
Yes. She was riding horseback yesterday, and the horse threw Sweetie Face over a fence.
Ooh.
So Sweetie Face came back, picked up the horse, and threw him over the fence.
Oh, and why is Dr. Gamble coming to your house, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, one of Sweetie Face's wrestling and boxing students needs medical attention, Mrs. McGee.
What kind of medical attention, Wimp?
Oh, Sweetie Face gave him a rabbit punch, and for 2 hours he's been sitting on the floor, wiggling his ears and twitching his nose. His eyes are tense, too.
Oh, how sweet. You know, she ought to keep him like that over Easter.
The trouble with Sweetie Face is, she knows her own strength. Are you sure I can't get you anything at the drugstore, folks?
No, thanks, Wimp, old man.
Won't be any trouble. All I'm going for is to get some gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Yes. I use it to brush my teeth with.
What's the idea?
It's the only way I can shoot my mouth off around our house. Well, I hope to find a pinker box.
The King's Band and the song of the Merchant Marine.
Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. It's a long, long way to go. It's a long, long pull with our hatches full, braving a wind, braving a sea, fighting a dangerous foe. Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. Let the sea roll high or low. We can cross any ocean, sail any river. Give us the goods and we'll deliver down the submarine. We're the men of the merchant marine. I I've carried guns to the Solomons and bombs to Tripoli. I've carried wheat for the boys to eat from Nome to the Coral Sea. I've sailed with planes to Liverpool and Leningrad with tanks. I made it through to Ireland too, with a regiment of Yanks. I burned my feet with the deck plate heat and froze them with the cold, while dodging subs in rusty tubs with nitro in the hold. Heave-ho, my man, heave-ho, let the sea roll high or low. We can cross any ocean, sail any river, give us the goods and we'll deliver anywhere. You will find the Merchant Marine, we'll be there.
Well, now, the doctor ought to be here any minute, McGee. How do you feel?
I don't know. Kind of numb. Have I been unconscious?
Yes, for about 10 minutes.
Oh.
And it was the loudest case of unconsciousness I ever heard. Did you swallow a safety pin or a sawmill?
Fine thing. Here I go, make myself an object of ridicule by trying to help you make a dress and all.
Hey, incidentally, what'd you do to that pattern? There's some pieces of it I never saw before.
Well, maybe some of them got torn, too, when the wind blew them around.
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
There's one piece of pattern that's shaped like no part of me that anyone ever told me about. Several of them are... Come in.
Shut the door.
Oh, hello, Dr. Gamble.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Well, where's the human scrap pile?
Oh, you think you're going to have to operate, Doc?
Now, stop shaking, McGee. Swallowing a safety pin isn't necessarily fatal, you know.
Oh, do you think he really swallowed it, Doctor?
My goodness, I almost hope so.
Oh, you hope so?
Yes, I've just invented a new instrument for extracting swallowed objects. I call it the Gamble Grab. I'm awfully anxious to try it out on somebody. I've been buying the little boys in the neighborhood marbles all spring, but nothing has happened yet. Take off your pants, McGee.
You don't understand, Doc. I didn't sit on it. I swallowed it.
Stop arguing. Take off your pants.
Now, listen, don't look like that, McGee. Your purple shorts are an old story to me. Do what the doctor said.
Okay.
What was he doing when he swallowed this safety pin, Mrs. McGee?
Cutting out a dress.
Cutting out a dress? What were you doing, playing pool at the Elks?
Well, he was doing it for me, Doctor. He said there was nothing to it if a person had brains, so I...
Okay, Doc, you want to examine me?
No, I want to examine the pants.
Huh?
Just as I thought. Here's your safety pin.
Heavenly days, where was it?
Where I usually find things men think they've swallowed. In the cuff of his pants.
Boy, is that a relief. Well, I'm sorry to brought you clear over here on a wild goose chase, Doc.
Oh, wasn't a wild goose chase at all, my boy. My bill will still be $7.
Why?
What do you mean, why, certainly? He didn't do anything, did he?
Oh, now, listen, don't pay any attention to him, Doctor. You know, he's so relieved at finding that safety pin, he doesn't know what he's saying.
Oh, no. Well, I ain't paying any $7 for having a pin took out of the cuff of my pants. That's robbery.
Now, look here, you ungrateful little nature faker. If you think I enjoy neglecting some really sick people to take care of a hypochondriac like you...
Who's a hypochondriac? You are. That's so.
Yes, that's so.
It is, huh?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Molly. What's a hypochondriac?
It's somebody who always has imaginary ailments.
Is that right, Doc?
Certainly. You're as healthy as a goat. You've never called me yet when there was really something wrong.
You hear that, Molly?
Yes, why?
Because he just admitted he's being charged me for treatments when there was nothing the matter with me. I'm going to report him to the American Medicinal Association for malnutrition.
You mean malpractice, McGee. You can never get me on a malnutrition charge.
Why couldn't he, Doctor?
Why couldn't he? Because I'm thoroughly fed up. Good day.
Well, I guess I gave him a good scare at that, didn't I?
Oh, sure. He's frightened out of his wits. Now, come on, McGee. Help me make sense out of this pattern. Look at this piece here.
Well, that's part of the insert that goes under... No, it isn't easy. Is there a number on it? All the pieces are numbered.
Yes, this is B17.
B17. Well, that can't go next to B18 because that's part of the shoulder. Hey, what's this one here?
C38. Doesn't fit any place. Look at the shape of it. McGee, I'm sorry I ever asked you to do this for me.
You're sorry? My gosh. Say, there's about 12 more pieces of this pattern than there was when I started. Did you add some?
No, I didn't, but it must make sense somehow. Let's piece them together and see how far we get.
Okay. This goes on. That won't go on top. You can't fit these.
Oh, I give up, McGee. It's hopeless.
Darned if I know what happened. If you ever got that thing together and wore it, you'd look like you were going to a costume party at the wreck of the Hesperus. Found them.
Oh, dear. Come in.
Sis, I told you once today I'm busy. Now beat it.
You won't help me build my model airplanes, mister?
No.
Well, then can I please have my patterns back? I left them on the floor when I was here the last time.
There are three places in your home where you might very likely be using linoleum. One, of course, is the kitchen. The second is the bathroom. A third is the front entrance hall. All three of these spots are apt to have extra heavy wear exposed to dirt and dampness. Two of them are your front line trenches against the weather and wet, muddy feet. Good linoleum is ideal floor covering for such places. And Johnson's self-polishing glow coat is the ideal way to keep such linoleum clean, sparkling, and long-wearing. Glow coat, as you may know, makes linoleum last 6 to 10 times longer than if it were unprotected. That's important today when replacements of all things are more difficult. Glow coat also saves you hours of cleaning time. It takes no rubbing or buffing. It's completely self-polishing. Dirt and spilled things wipe up in a jiffy. If you're not already using Johnson's self-polishing glow coat for all of your linoleum floor coverings, I suggest that you try it.
Thanks to you, I'll have to wear an old dress next Thursday.
What happens next Thursday?
How many days had you forgotten?
Huh?
We're visiting the Kraft Music Hall.
Oh, my gosh, how could I forget that? Especially after that swell telegram they sent me.
Oh, what was that? You didn't tell me.
I didn't? Oh, it said something about how glad they'd be to see you, and in my case, how the biggest cheese of all goes to the Kraft Music Hall. I thought that was pretty nice.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah, don't you? Oh, I get it. Good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of Wallace Wimple and the old-timer heard on our program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax, Johnson's Carnew, and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. May, the traditional month for spring house cleaning, is only 4 days away. In many homes this year, women won't be able to do so very much of that extra cleaning. War work, civilian defense, Red Cross, Victory Gardens, all these important activities are number one obligations. But in most of those homes, there's a silent partner helping to cut down on housekeeping work, helping to protect floors, furniture, and woodwork. That silent partner is Johnson's Wax. Day after day, month after month, it guards all kinds of surfaces, wood, leather, metal, against wear and dirt. An occasional application of either paste or liquid Johnson's Wax gives not only protection, but great beauty to your home. Rooms can be kept in tip-top shape with less work. Many spring house cleaning chores become unnecessary. At no time in its more than 50 years of service has genuine Johnson's Wax been more helpful to homemakers than right now.
coupons and is hungry for a big steak. His mouth is liable to water so much it drowns his conscience. So, as we glance down the alley behind the pool hall in Wistful Vista, we find a little business deal going on between a man who shall be nameless, though there is a number waiting for him, and an old friend of ours, Mr. McGee, of Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. A big, thick porterhouse. Wait till Molly loops a lip over this. I can hardly wait to fling a fang into it myself, Bud. You sure this is good and tender, Mr.
Just call me Eddie, chum. And don't worry about the steak. You just take it home, cook it about 45 minutes, smother it with onions, load it up with ketchup, and you never ate nothing like it. That'll be $5.
$5?
Sure, you could have a 3-pound steak there, Doc.
Yeah, but the ceiling price is way...
Yeah, don't give me that ceiling price business, Doc. I'm an alley butcher, and alleys don't have no ceiling.
I just thought $5.
I ain't charging no sales tax, am I?
Well, no, but...
I didn't ask you for no coupons, did I?
No, but gee, I thought... Gee, I thought at least I'd like to have seen it before you wrapped it up. No,
don't worry, Doc. That steak will make your eyes water. I mean your mouth. And look, if any of your friends need anything, tell them to ask for Eddie, see?
Oh, okay, Eddie. Well, I guess I better trot home and get this steak on ice.
You ain't kidding, brother.
Huh?
I says no kidding, Doc. You're going to enjoy that steak. Well, so long.
So long. Much obliged, Eddie. Oh, boy, a 3-pound porterhouse. Don't catch me standing in line like a dummy. When I want something bad, I get it.
McGee, where are you?
Here I am, Molly. I just put something in the refrigerator. It's a surprise for dinner tonight.
Oh, a surprise?
Yeah.
Has one of your friends been on a hunting trip?
Oh, but I have. This is really going to knock you over, baby.
McGee, have you been buying Limburger cheese again?
No, sir. This is something you love. And don't ask me what it is. It's a surprise. And don't you go opening the package.
Well, how I know which package not to open?
Well, it's wrapped in newspaper and fastened with a piece of tire tape. It's about this big. Who's that?
Let me peek. Uh-oh. It's Abigail Luckington.
What's that old bat looking for? A belfry? Hey, now, don't ask her for dinner. She eats too much.
I know she does. You know, whenever I see anybody with a carriage like hers, I know they eat like a horse. Come in. Well, for goodness sakes, Abigail, dear, what a surprise.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Effie. That's quite a fur jacket you got there. You look like a perpendicular fox farm. Hey, what's the matter with you, Uppy? If you looked any more upset, you'd have to walk on your hands.
Oh, I am perturbed, Mr. McGee. I'm having a group of naval officers to dinner tonight.
Oh, well, they're used to having dinner in a mess. What's wrong, Abigail?
Oh, everything, my dear. I can't buy any meat.
Oh,
my butcher is entirely out. He says the black market is taking so much meat that the legitimate dealers have a hard time getting their butcher.
Well, be that as it may be or may not be or not, Uppy. It's all in knowing the right people. I can arrange for you to get some meat.
What do you know about meat, McGee? You always thought Chuck Beef was off a steer named Charlie.
I just know my way around, that's all. If anybody wants meat, I know where they can get it. Now, look, Uppy, you're an old pal of mine.
Let's say acquaintance, Miss McGee. My regard for you falls somewhat short of complete adoration.
It does? Well, that's darn decent of you, Uppy. I always spoke well of you, too. Now, look, you know where the pool hall is on 14th Street, next door to the Friend in Need pawn shop?
Why, certainly I know where the, I believe I could locate it.
Well, all you gotta do is go down there, duck up the alley.
Are you suggesting that Abigail duck up an alley, McGee?
Well, how does she usually go up alleys, on a calliope? Just sneak up the alley, Uppy, when nobody is watching, and there's a door at the end, see? You just whistle twice, like a snipe. And a guy named Eddie will open the door. You tell him that...
Mr. McGee, this sounds suspiciously like the black market to me.
Don't be silly. This ain't a market at all. It's just a back room off the pool hall. And it ain't black. It's kind of a bilious green. Used to be a bookmaker in there, and he
McGee,
was...
how do you know all about this?
How do I know anything?
I have often wondered.
Oh, I just go around with my ears and eyes to the ground, that's all. Now, look, Uppy, when you see this guy, Eddie, you whistle like a snipe, see? You tell him you know me. You don't need any coupons.
McGee, I don't like this.
Gee whiz, if you really want meat bad enough, you gotta go...
I don't want meat badly enough to patronize a back alley dealer, Miss McGee. Do you think I could face those servicemen tonight after dealing in the black market?
Oh, my gosh, Uppy, you
Do
said you
you
didn't...
think that I would have the unmitigated effrontery to invite servicemen to dinner and serve them meat which was practically stolen from law-abiding citizens?
Well, gee whiz.
To offer them something which was damaging the legitimate business of the country they're fighting for?
Well, gee.
If you do, Mr. McGee, you know as much about me as a hyena knows about international law. And if you've read the reports from Japan the last few days, you know how much that is. Goodbye.
So you see, Molly, that's why I can't tell you about Eddie. It's a secret.
Well, all right, but I wish you wouldn't recommend this Eddie, whoever he is, to our friends. He sounds pretty illegal to me.
Well, so what? Nobody thought anything of recommending a bootlegger in Prohibition, did they?
Well, that was violating a law that everybody knew would be repealed. Nobody can repeal a war edict. This is a serious business. Speaking of Prohibition, have you seen Uncle Dennis tonight?
I don't think he's in yet.
Oh, dear. You know, sometimes I worry about him.
Yeah, so do I. He's like having an old shotgun around the house. You never know when he's loaded. Hey, ain't it about time for dinner? I'm going to cook it, you know.
You're going to cook the dinner?
Sure. How are we fixed for onions?
We're just out. I looked this morning and...
Come in.
Hello there, kid.
Oh, hello, Mr. Oldtimer.
All right, old-timer, you old fossil. Haul up a chair and give your friend Arthur one, too.
Arthur who?
Arthritis. Did you get it, Molly? I says, give your friend Arthur a chair, and he says, Arthur who? And I said,
He's funny, McGee.
That's odd. I pulled that one at the Elks this morning, and they killed themselves.
I don't blame them, Johnny. They had nothing more to live for.
How are you making out with meat rationing, old-timer?
I don't pay any attention to it, Johnny. As the suit salesman said when he seen a 44 stub wouldn't fit his customer, how'd get along?
Oh, dear, the Elks can have that one, too.
Well, I was going to say, old-timer, if you ever run short of meat, I know a guy.
Ah, don't worry about me, Johnny. I never eat the stuff.
Oh, you're a vegetarian, eh?
Sure am, Johnny. Can't stand the sight of them.
Well, if you don't eat meat or vegetables, what do you live on?
Got a little pension, daughter. Not much, but it keeps me going.
She means, what do you eat?
Just breakfast and dinner, usually, Johnny. You see...
No. What do you have for meals?
Oh, fella next door, most of the time. He comes over, brings a pail of stuff.
Old-timer, we're trying to find out what kind of food you eat.
Nothing but the best, Johnny. Mama made me promise once that I wouldn't eat no cheap...
Mr. Oldtimer. Look, you don't eat meat, you don't eat vegetables. What do you eat?
Chickens, daughter. Chickens and eggs. Eggs and chicken. Fried eggs, scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, stirred eggs, stuffed eggs, deviled eggs, and eggs been the dictionary. Roast chicken, fried chicken, stewed chicken, minced chicken, cold chicken, chicken a la king, and I threw away my alarm clock, kid.
What for?
Had so much chicken I don't need it anymore.
Huh?
Whenever I crow in the morning, I know it's time to get up.
Eddie in the alley?
Why, sure, I'd send him to Eddie in the alley. Eddie done me a favor, and I want to rescind Capet. After all, the fellow's got... Hey, I got to order some onions. Give me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Jimmy Sales Grocery on the Bully Mert. How are you, Mert? How's every little thing, Mert? Yes, eh? What's say, Mert? Your uncle? Caught a spy at the airplane factory.
Good for him, McGee.
I'll say. He knocked his lunch bucket off the shelf and dropped all his sandwiches and caught a spy. What's say, Mert? Well, the guy was reaching for his pie, too. Okay, I'll call you later, Mert. Thanks, Mert.
Now, look, McGee, about this package you've got in the refrigerator, I want you to tell me exactly now what...
Hello, folks.
Good evening, Mr. Wilcox.
Hi, Junior. What's cooking?
Well, the restaurant, as far as I'm concerned tonight, we're out of meat at ours.
Now, McGee?
Out of meat, eh? Don't worry about that, my friend. You can have a nice big steak tonight if you want it. And every night, in fact, you can have a nice big steak.
Sure, but I've already told you the Army turned me down.
Now, don't listen to McGee, Mr. Wilcox. He knows an acrobatic meat dealer.
Acrobatic?
Yes, alley up.
Now, look here, son. As it happens, I got a few connections in this town.
Yeah, you're on your way toward forming a few more, too, dearie. With derby hats and flat feet.
Oh, no. Not me. I know what I'm doing. Now, look, Junior. I happen to be in the position where I can get you all the meat I want, see? And any friend of mine...
Hey, what's the idea, pal? You a personal friend of the OPA?
What's OPA got to do with it? He's on information, please. Now, look. Here's all you got to do. You go down the alley next to the snooker pool room on 14th Street, see? And you whistle twice, like a snipe. And when the guy opens the door, his name's Eddie. He's a friend of mine, see? You just tell him...
Hey! What is this, black market meat?
Well, if it was any blacker, it would make midnight look like high noon.
Well, gee whiz. If a guy is hungry for meat...
Well, I'm not so hungry for meat. I want to patronize a rat in an alley to get a steak. What's the matter with you, Fibber? I always thought you were a pretty decent guy.
Pour it on, Mr. Wilcox. Pour it on.
Oh, my gosh, what's a little thing like
It
that?
isn't a little thing, pal. This is the dirtiest racket that's come out of the war. These crooks are buying up meat and selling it illegally without any sanitation or inspection and throwing the whole business of supply and demand out of kilter. How can the Army and Navy and war workers get the meat they need when so much of it is chiseled away into the black market?
Well, yeah, but gee whiz,
You don't know where this meat came from or how old it is or what condition it's in or anything.
We ought to revise the old Spanish-American War slogan. Remember the Tomei.
Well, now, look here, Junior. I was only trying to be helpful.
Well, I don't want that kind of help, pal. I buy no bacterial beef from any back alley butcher. I'll pay with coupons and know that the dealer's responsible to the government.
My very words, only louder.
When I buy things, I want to know where they come from and who's back of them and what the quality is. That's why I'm proud to be selling Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. It's got a tradition of 50 years of conscientious quality behind it.
Yeah, and I know where you can get some of that, too. Just sneak up an alley and back a Racine and ask for Pete.
Why, for year after year, Johnson's self-polishing glow coat has become a household symbol of your money's worth. The way it saves hours of housework with its shines as it dries feature. The way it protects and preserves linoleum floors against dirt and dampness. You don't find any black market for products like glow coat, Fibber. Housewives are proud to be seen buying it, and dealers are proud to handle it.
Okay. Quit shouting at me. I ain't selling meat.